Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Greenlight Weekend Podcast. Happy Friday, it is Friday. I'm your host, Brian Nystrom. I don't know why I keep saying Happy Friday. It's because somebody commented Happy Friday with like exclamation points on one of the videos recently, and now I feel like for that one person, they need to hear Happy Friday. You know what I mean? So Happy Friday to you, motherfucker. And I say motherfucker with love. I love you. Just because you listen to this podcast or watch it or whatever, that makes you one of my best friends. And no, you can't come over to the studio, but I will give you a crisp high five if you come out to a comedy show, and I'll try to make you laugh. We do comedy. Speaking of comedy, our sponsor on this podcast is a company called Dead Room Comedy. They are a comedy group and production company based in Denver, Colorado. They're doing a lot of awesome things. They're four of my good friends. I love them. And I bet you're thinking, hey, how can I find this Dead Room Comedy? How can I find when they're doing live shows in Denver monthly, weekly? How can I laugh, Brian? How can I laugh? And that's easy. Just go follow Dead Room Comedy on social media at Dead Room Comedy. Any social media at Dead Room Comedy. You can also check out their YouTube channel, Dead Room Comedy. Last year they did 52 weeks in a row. They put out a new sketch every week. It's all on their YouTube channel. It's extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. Not all of them, but most of them are very, very fucking creative and funny. deadroomcomedy.com. The link is in the description below this episode. It's there every week. If you want to check out what they're doing, that link goes to all their live shows they got going on, as long as they keep updating that shit. So I've done my part. You do yours. Go check out Dead Room Comedy if you're in the Denver area. Let's see. No more sponsor. Okie dokie. We have a great guest today. Our guest is Taylor Lennox. Taylor Lennox is one of the baddest bitches in Durango, right under Callie Parmenter, I'm pretty sure. She's a little scary. She's a grown-up. She's got her shit together. She's successful, and she's fucking proud of that, goddammit. You'll find out in the episode. But something I haven't talked about, Taylor does a monthly open mic. It's the second Thursday of every month at Esoterra / Outdoorsy. It's a place that sells cider and campers, but they let us do comedy, and that is fucking awesome. Not a lot of people want us to do comedy in their establishments. Not only do they let us do comedy, but we pack that bitch out every month. So good. It was, in fact, last night. I'm sorry I couldn't get this out in time to promote that, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We didn't plan that very well. I blame Jadrian. He's in charge of booking now. Okie dokie. So Taylor Lennox was here. Jadrian was here. We had a good time. Taylor kind of put us in our place, mostly me, but that's okay. I need to be put in my place sometimes. I'm kind of a dick. I get that. Trying to get better. You know what I mean? But we had a great episode. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking about it. I want to give one more shout out to Ethan Esparza and the Chava people for the intro, outro music. We've been using it for years, and they're good friends of mine, so they just let me use it. Hopefully it gives them a little exposure. I don't know. We don't have the biggest following, but we're fucking trying, and we're consistent, goddammit. Consistent. It's Friday. Okie dokie. I'm going to stop saying okie dokie. It's a thing I picked up from Tony Hinchcliffe a long time ago, and I can't get rid of it. Every time I feel weird, I say okie dokie. Alrighty then. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's episode is a banger. It is episode 183 with the great, the powerful Taylor Lennox. And we're here.
Yeah,
and
boy.
We're off.
Let's fucking go.
Taylor's got herself a drink.
Gonna need it.
Jadrian's got his LaCroix.
Yeah, baby.
Classic redneck, sponsored by Bud Light.
You wish.
Goddamn right I do.
We're also sponsored by LaCroix.
Did you know it's an American company?
Exactly.
I have a friend who straight up with a straight face calls it La Croix.
Yeah,
Really?
I know those people.
And you're like,
It's from like Missouri or some shit. Like,
I mean, it is a French word, but it's the same as like going to an Olive Garden and like pronouncing everything authentically.
There's also a Paris, Texas. And if you call it Paris, you're a fucking dickhead.
Let's go to Paris, Texas.
I don't want to go to either place.
The city of homophobia. I wonder how homophobic Paris, Texas actually is. Because it seems like it would be a misnomer if like it wasn't a more open city.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's like Austin. I think it's a little. Like,
don't they have an Eiffel Tower there?
yeah.
Fucking Americans.
Why?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Why? What man woke up one morning and was like, you know what we need? The Eiffel Tower.
Did
like,
you say
what?
man because
Like,
you know a woman couldn't pull it off, or she
no,
wouldn't
a
have
woman
that bad
would
of an
wake
idea?
up and would hear that idea in her head, and she would be like, "No,
That sounds tacky
unfortunately,
and
I have
stupid."
no rights here and have to raise my 8 children." like she doesn't have time for that. This man is like, "I can put together that tower that those damn French have." Like, it's terrible. It's just terrible. Also, Paris is terrible.
Have you been there?
Is it?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's awful. It's the worst.
What's
4
the
days
worst
of my
about it?
life. Oh, there's just so many fucking people, and they all hate you because you're American and you can't hide it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dirty, and like people try to steal shit from your bag because you're getting
It's
here in American.
dirty?
It's dirty. It's so dirty.
So it's a
the
city?
dirtiest place I've ever been.
Really?
Yeah,
Have you been to Paris,
Jeez.
Texas?
I have not.
Sounds dirty.
It's dirty. It's
You know-
dirty.
You know, with there being an Eiffel Tower in Texas, that means we have 2 Eiffel Towers in America,
Oh, at least.
and we are fucking winning.
Can you imagine how many of those little things we have? Like white girls that think they're cool and they wake up every morning with their alarm clock and look over at the Eiffel Tower thing sitting next to their clock.
Because they can't afford to go see it.
And they wait for $5.99
What kind of
at
basic
Target.
bitches do you know?
I was in a sorority. I know a lot.
All the basic bitches.
Okay, there we go.
Actually,
that makes
to
sense.
be fair, because like they're very supportive and might actually watch this. Like they're actually the least basic people I know, but unfortunately, I do know a lot of basic.
But they do
people.
have shitty, tacky souvenirs.
But, like,
Lots of tchotchkes.
But sometimes,
What exactly is a tchotchke?
It literally means garbage.
Oh,
literally, I've never heard someone that hasn't lived in Arizona or New Mexico use that word. So, like, it's
really?
not.
Because it's a Jewish word.
No, I've never heard.
Yeah.
I've never heard a Jew use that word.
Yeah, that's Yiddish.
I've primarily grew up in a Jewish community, went to school in a Jewish community. I've never heard that word prior to moving here.
Well, that's because they know what's garbage and they don't buy it.
that's true. Very good with their money.
There's never an actual reason for them to use the word. They don't put themselves in that situation.
Right. It's a shit investment.
Yeah, they know better. They're active people. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about the Jewish folk?
How do I feel about them?
Yeah. I mean, do you like them in generally?
I don't know. I feel like I really like them, but maybe not as much as you like black people.
I love black.
I know. It's like
I love black.
I had to bring it up. for
Green
you.
light weekend. We love Jews and the blacks.
I'm a little shaky on the Jews. I feel like that's way less risky.
I got out of the car and literally said the words, "All right, let's go end my career." You're
What
working on it.
career?
What
Oh, your actual
My
career.
actual
I thought you meant
career.
your comedy career. I was
No.
like,
Okay, like none
You're
of us
fine.
have a
No,
career.
my career, my real one.
yeah, that's actually why I had to become an owner in a business so nobody could fucking fire me. Literally 4 people have to be like, fuck this guy. That's the only way I get fired.
Well, that makes sense. And you
Only
you can
4?
at least stay on the good side of one of them.
yeah, one of them's like my best friend. So
Yeah, like,
Banking on 4 people.
yeah. I don't know, man. You remember Apple?
Mm.
Wasn't Steve Jobs the one that fucked out his
And Facebook.
Fu-
And Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh yeah, and Mark Zuckerberg, yeah. How they literally had best friends and they're
Actually,
like,
it's
"Fuck
like
you,
most of those
dog."
companies now that I think about. Wasn't like Napster? Wasn't that like a thing?
Yeah, but Napster's gone now. So
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I think one of the dudes that was better at business stole the idea from one of the dudes
From the
that
guy
was
that
better
was
at
like techie and
computers.
nerdy. Yeah.
he just knew how to do paperwork better. That's
I have
That's all
better
I think.
friends than all those
yeah.
people.
That's the fucked up part is
That's
that
the
they're
gist
just like,
of
I know how to
life.
do
They tell you
paperwork.
that like hard work will make you successful. It's actually who's better at paperwork.
Yeah, it's all bureaucracy and logistics.
the Jews.
And we're back.
Thought I had to bring it back. I don't know why. It's gonna be a weird day. Weird night. It's already
Oh,
been a weird day.
talking about weird nights.
Oh my God, Brian, can we just discuss?
Sure.
How big of a fucking whore you are.
Oh my God. He said, he went from across the room, he was like, whore. And I cackled. I'm like spitting my drink out. You have, don't even notice. Like,
I heard the whore.
hmm.
I just kept driving.
Also, what the hell? You just like gonna like pimp me out for your convenience?
It was more for the fun of the moment.
You know what? That's fair.
Are you not willing to be a little uncomfortable in a moment to make it more fun for everybody else? Because I do it constantly. You saw my set.
Yes. We voluntarily have a hobby where we get up on stage and say stupid things that half the time fail. So yes, obviously I'm willing to like be uncomfortable.
I
for
said
the
you
moment.
never smoked a cigarette, and you treated that like the most personal information in your life.
No, it's
you
not.
Treated
The
that
cigarette wasn't the most personal. It was then when you were like, and she's never smoked weed. And I'm sitting next to this dude who inevitably I'm between two men who are smoking weed. What is the thing that's going to happen all night? Why do you want to smoke weed, Taylor? Why do you smoke weed? Why do you smoke weed? Do you want to smoke weed?
That
do you
was
want
gonna
to pass
happen.
a joint? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to? No, I could have just done this. Quiet, hand off, done. But instead, it became the fixation that I'm like a prude or something.
You think that's my fault?
Yes.
If you didn't take a hit, he was gonna do it anyway.
No.
He was watching you like a hawk.
Well, it's
That's true. He was
He was infatuated with you. You were the only
I
thing
think he was in
important
love with
the
you.
bar.
I think
Yeah.
I think he had very deep feelings for you.
I'm sure that's what they were. Deep feelings.
Very deep
It was definitely
feelings.
about my character, for sure.
He likes to be challenged.
Not the fact that it was the first time I ever wore a crop top. Won't make that mistake again. Don't worry.
I don't know. It is such a baller move that that an NFL player was there and immediately approached you, and you're just like, all right, later, dude.
I blew him up so hard
fucking
inside.
swerve.
Brian
dog.
has the nerve to go. He goes, you know, there was an NFL player you just blew off. Or like something like that as I was walking by, and I was like, and?
No, I was trying to make the point, hey, if this guy stays for comedy, that's good for us because people want to be around this person. That's all I was saying. I wasn't being like, why don't you leave your husband and fuck this dude? Like, that's not what I was saying.
I just don't care about either extreme.
Your husband or
I mean, no.
How excited would your
I don't
husband
care
have been
about
if he
either
was there?
He wouldn't have cared.
Oh, he doesn't
No.
like football?
No.
He seems like a football guy.
is it because he's a cop?
Huh?
What
He
would
just
make
seems like a normal man's man.
masculine, so
He-
football.
Actually, no. I understand
He
that.
fits the fucking
Yeah,
criteria.
He kind of checks all the boxes for just like, and this guy probably watches Sunday Night Football.
He looks like he plays video games, watches football, and, arrests people.
I'm
Yeah,
sure-
dude shit.
Dude shit.
Man shit.
I
Thank
mean,
you, Jadrian, for
I'm
saving
sure
that.
that he would watch football if it were on. It's not like he's following it. It's not like he'd
Men
recognize
can't
a
help
name.
themselves. If
No.
football's on and women are talking over here, they're watching the game.
Did you just talk about women talking as if that would be an appeasing distraction for you? I
Football,
think you've
game?
made it very clear
football
that women
is an
talking.
appeasing distraction. to
But
women
no,
talking.
what I'm saying is like I don't think listening to women talk is a priority in general for you, let alone when there's another option.
It's fine if women are talking to me. I'm saying women talking to each other about shit that I don't care about. I'd rather watch football.
I mean, that's also true.
And I don't
for
watch football.
Most people. Like
Anybody talking
yeah,
to not you? Yeah.
Literally anybody talking to
Says the
kind
guy
of
that
not
was
me.
literally high out of his mind,
I mean,
staring at the
this
sky,
is true.
eavesdropping on
Gra-
every conversation on a
Granted,
patio
I was
last night.
high out of my mind, and I just wanted to feel like I was a part of everything. But the only way I could do that was to listen to everything.
Oh, can I also say last night, by far the highest I've ever done comedy. A blunt, multiple bowls. I've never been that high on a spotlight, under a spotlight, and it was kind of fun. The fact that I had no responsibility other than to do a set. Like it wasn't my
Was it
mic.
fun? It didn't like feel panicky that you didn't know which way was up, kind of a thing.
I knew if they were laughing or not.
Mm.
And I just gave less of a fuck. I
Yeah.
just literally
No, you were.
I said fuck you people. Like
Yeah, the level, and that was. I think that's part of one of the keys is like, yes, I want everybody to have a good time, but also fuck you people. You're not real right now. You don't really matter to me in my everyday life. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you go home and you're like, you know what? I had a great night.
You know what?
I hope you come back.
I forgot things for a bit, but
I can appreciate the sanctity of the fuck it rule. However, you also last night were like, hey, can I have a ride? And I was like, sure, of course. Little did I know you were actually saying, hi, Taylor. Would you mind being my spiritual guide through this acid trip I'm on? Like, so your definition of like the fuck it rule is a little different than mine.
You guys seem to have a very interesting
It's a lot
connection.
different than mine. Because, like, I'm driving you home thinking I'm, like, helping my high friend out. And you're actually using me as this, like, little navigator through some realm I've never been to. So, I mean,
What'd you think of the realm?
disordered at best.
I mean, yeah, no, that's about right. But that's all of reality, just
That's
in
true.
general.
Yeah. You're just a real organized
I mean,
part of this
consent matters.
chaos.
You know what I mean? Like, I should have had the choice.
I mean, you totally could have been like, no.
I mean, I could have turned down driving you. You didn't ask
Well,
the
this is fair.
question. You
This
were
is fair.
like, hey, I think that I need a babysitter.
Oh,
How long did you babysit him?
not very long. We went to McDonald's.
Do you
Talk
guys
on the
do that every
phone.
time you're together?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
J-Train doesn't really eat. That's the problem. He'll tell you he eats. And then you're like, when's the last time you ate? And he's like, I don't know, like yesterday.
And it's like 10 o'clock.
And I'm like, acid doesn't count. And then he's like, oh, just kidding, 3 days ago. Like, so
That's how I got to be this good looking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Never heard of intermittent fasting?
yeah, it's the button down shirt. Also, P.S. we were talking earlier. J-Train's a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hoe. And he couldn't believe it. He's
Dude,
like, I'm not a hoe.
I had no idea.
I don't think you're... Yeah, but your dicks are romantic.
My dick
We've
is my
had
dick
this
is a
conversation.
romantic. Yeah.
He can't get it up for
No.
just any basic bitch.
Yeah, there has to be like a genuine
You
like
pretend a lot, though.
yeah, I do.
Yeah, but
No,
pretending...
Well, also
Hoes fuck at the end.
also genuine like emotional connection can come in and fade with different relationships as you get to know people. And like
So you're a hoe with your emotions and your penis.
No, his penises are
not
romantic.
really. I'm actually very
A hoe with your emotions. A Catholic with your penis.
I think that's pretty
You fuck little boys? I missed that part of the story, and also, I don't want to do this with you anymore.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to break up.
Just, yeah, if it comes out in 10 years and there's just years of me and you on a camera, I don't need that in my life.
No, fair enough.
Maybe you just remind him of a little boy.
No, there have been times where I've
What you thought about little boys?
no. Jesus.
No, the Adam's apple turns him off every time. This is a man's Adam's apple.
I have to put a blindfold over it.
Like one of those people with a hole in their throat from smoking.
He has to wear a scarf if we're going to hook up.
An ascot.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Then-
we
then
should get you an ascot.
Your dad will really think you're gay if you start wearing ascots.
He already does. What does it matter?
Yeah.
I'm going through an Austin Powers phase,
I
Dad.
tried to talk to my mom about all the comedy things that are happening, and she tried to interrupt and be like, you should go to school. And I had to stop her and be like, Mom, I'm trying to brag about my life right now. Can you not?
She was like, no, I get it. You should go to school.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, probably. But
Meanwhile, like J-Dream's mom actually just has like tissues and is like,
oh, I was actually talking to her, and I was talking about somebody else that I know, where I was just like, they're so smart, they're kind, they have skills, but they're so stupid, and I don't know how they're gonna make it through this one.
Yeah, slow down. I'm blushing.
And my mom stopped me and she said, you know, I said the exact same thing about you a couple days ago. And I was like, Jesus Christ, mother.
Well, you got to think when people don't see you regularly, their
Their
picture of-
perceptions
yeah.
of what my life really is completely like askewed and like different. Like she still sees me as like the kid that moved out of her house at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like and
Which
like,
you still are. I mean,
No.
I mean, you've changed.
I mean,
You've changed, bro.
you've changed. Actually, if I talk to pretty much anybody in my hometown that I used to know, they'd just be like, "You're not the same person."
What do they mean?
Are you always wearing that shirt?
Oh my god, the same clothes I dropped him off in last night.
No, he's got 5 of those shirts.
I only have 3.
I was guessing 1, so
5
I'm
of
proud
those
of you.
shirts. Doesn't use the buttons on the top of any of them.
Why would you with that chest hair? I'm jelly. Look at that. Nada.
Maybe that's why you remind him of a little boy.
Yeah, and then the Adam's apple fucks it all up again.
Yeah, dude. But no, I've gone out with the intention of being like, I'm gonna get laid tonight, and
You work really well when you set short-term goals like that.
yeah, I actually really do. because pretty much every time I've done that, which doesn't happen very often, I end up bringing someone back.
Really?
And it is inevitable that I will just get bored halfway through and just be like, all right, neither of us want to do this anymore. me or my dick, we don't want to do this anymore. So I think
don't
I'm
like that
good.
they're different people. I'm uncomfortable.
Well,
with that.
well, you're right. They really are the same fucking person. Like, I do like attention. I am a whore for attention. There's a reason why I do
His
comedy.
dick too.
But when it comes to like
all right.
that
But,
kind of connection, I'm just like, no, there has to be something.
I don't understand.
Else
So
there,
earlier
or
we were
I'm not gonna
talking-
want to do anything.
Like, it had never happened to me until recently, to be honest, around you, which is why it took me aback so suddenly. Where this girl came over and sat on your lap, and a switch flicked in your brain. And all of a sudden, your hand is like on her upper thigh in a rather intimate way. You're being real. How you doing? Like Joey from Friends style. And
the shirt.
I was like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Where did Jadrian go? When did this horn dog arrive?
Well, we also had a different dynamic because we used to work together, me and that person. So
there was past like
and
whatever.
she would like be like, yeah, he's my work husband, and so it is
I
a
hate
little
when
bit
people
of
say that phrase. It's like my
of like
least
a-
favorite phrase. Like,
of
this
like a
is my
playful
work
thing.
wife. Like, oh, the person you're most likely
I've-
to cheat on your spouse with? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
No,
Like,
I've
like,
never
no,
done it.
No. It's a lie. It's like basically a socially
But
acceptable
there was
way
a level of
being like,
comfortability.
if I
already.
wasn't in this monogamous
Yeah.
situation, like, don't like that. Ew.
Fair enough.
Ugh.
Fair
Ugh.
enough.
Dylan came home and was like, this is my work wife. I'd be like, and the divorce papers are in the drawer. like, nuh-uh. I was that NFL player's number one choice for an hour. If I can't be your number one choice, you can skedaddle with your work wife.
Yeah. So, speaking of marriage, I was watching.
Oh,
I was watching the Mike Birbiglia special last night, and he talks about marriage and how it like makes no sense. And I'm high on acid outside, and I'm hanging out with Brandon. We go outside, we take a break, and I was just like, but
you take a break from a 60-minute special?
It's an hour and a half, first of all.
You're gonna need a break.
And it's a show. But anyways, we go outside, and I'm just like, isn't that kind of the point though? Like, yeah, it makes no fucking sense. But like, just that like then again, I am attracted to crazy. It is kind of like a type been a type for a while, trying to like break the chain, maybe find a sane person.
What is that? I don't understand
I have no
that.
idea. What?
I'm the opposite of that.
You have to
so
find.
what is that?
We know. You have to find a balance. You have to find.
Yeah, there has to be like
Brian's
a
like,
certain
we know.
balance,
We know
like
you're
finding-
boring. We
finding
know.
someone.
We know. It's fine. I'm not going to
No,
apologize
you
anymore.
just seem like you would be attracted to somebody that's extremely stable.
that actually has their shit together.
Because I'm the psycho one.
Well-
We can't double down on
Oh no!
We can't
so your
double down
husband's
on
into
that.
crazy.
that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so your husband's
we
down
can't
it.
double down on that.
All right, that
all.
makes sense.
It's a
Oh my
dude
God.
thing.
You see, that's exactly what I mean. There is a certain level of like crazy that has to be there to like make that kind of commitment.
And I think the crazy
And
one
like
in the
that's
relationship.
what makes it as beautiful as it is, no matter like.
Well, and I think that
what it
I'm
used to
just
be in the
neurotic
past.
enough to bring like a very slothful person to like actually have a life and a routine. Does that make sense? Like, so
Yeah.
like I think my crazy serves a purpose in our relationship.
My girlfriend's does.
Versus like, I think if we were both like him,
Nothing would get done.
ever.
Yeah, if it was like a mirror
Ever.
that, you know what? That's kind of what I discovered recently with a few.
But if we were
people.
both like me, our house would be like burnt down to the ground
Yeah.
every day.
But
So that, you
yeah,
know.
having that exact mirror, like it's the concept of like opposites attract, pretty much, where it's just like you kind of have to be similar
You
enough.
want to know a phrase my youth
but-
group leader used to say?
What?
Don't let the mountains touch the plains.
Oh God, he used
Shout
to
out to Bailey
say
Carlson.
he used to say that opposites attract, but similarities are like money in the bank. Which is the church's
I mean,
way of saying you should have a really boring relationship.
Or a crazy one.
I mean, both of those things can be true. Like it's not really as black as and white as both. Like you should, yes, have similarities.
I don't know. I don't think
I
you
don't
heard
know.
Brian's opener yesterday. It's
idea.
pretty black and white for him.
I don't know. I was so fucking. I don't remember any of that. I know you did good. I know I liked it.
What's up? Got him on one joke,
What's
lost him
up?
on the next. Got him on one joke, lost him on the next. It was a perfect roller coaster.
You were like a disappointed dad when they didn't get a joke.
I was disappointed.
That was your face. It wasn't like, oh wow, like I should have told a better joke. It was like, I'm so disappointed
You know
in
what?
you
I-
for not understanding this joke and understanding where I was coming from.
I was too high to be
I'm not
disappointed
sure
in myself.
if
I
we're
just
gonna be
don't
able to get
feel
past this, Brian
hurt.
Jr. I trusted you, and now you're gonna go talk to your mother. Go talk to your mother. Like that was Brian whenever they didn't laugh.
And then I made him laugh.
I'm happy for you.
You're like, never mind. I love you, son. I'm sorry about that.
You know what? Dad got too high earlier.
Some dads get angry and violent.
your
You just
relationship
get
with the crowd
despondent
is
and
like-
emotional.
I would argue one's better than the other.
That's fair.
I mean,
I'll
this
give
is
you that.
fair.
One-
This is
yep.
fair. You could completely turn and be
Also,
like, you know what? Fuck you
What's
guys.
up with the
Bullshit.
whole just like outing my family history to random strangers?
I was trying to make it fun.
You made it something. Oh my gosh.
What, the person you're never going to see again?
I mean, I don't care.
Maybe on Thursday?
I mean,
Oh god.
but probably not. I think they were turned off enough by Durango comedy that we probably won't
Well,
see
the
them.
beginning-
actually,
was
I
kind
don't
of-
think so.
the
I think
beginning was
everybody
odd,
did
too.
pretty good.
Well, they left
like,
after three
overall.
comics.
It built though. That was the
Yeah.
problem. Like I
Yeah.
feel like the night got better and better.
It really
versus-
did.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a set for the NFL player and his manager person who
You were like, would you want to be on my podcast? And Adrian was like, whore.
Yeah.
And that woman was already like,
Dude, I wish
hell no.
I wish so much
well,
that
they
I
could have
was.
talked about youth outreach. That's what they're doing in Farmington. I wanted to talk about locker rooms,
Yeah, I wish.
crazy
This
nights
is why
where
your
you just
dad
make
thinks
it
you're
rain.
gay. This is why your dad thinks you're gay.
That's fine.
I mean, an attractive man is an attractive man.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong to be said about that.
hot's hot.
Hot is hot.
He wasn't that.
I think like
I mean, this
very
is
few
fair.
people are hot.
He
It's
did-
like a shockingly low.
He definitely
percentage of people.
looks like
Like,
he's
I feel
taken
like-
a couple shots to the head.
What?
The guy
That's
from last
terrible.
Well, he was also
He was
a
also
little
high out
tipsy.
of his mind.
Yeah,
But he was a little tipsy. He was in Durango. He'd been doing youth outreach all day.
Yeah, that's why he found me attractive. Come on, keep up.
No, you were the only. I mean, if you looked around, be like, yeah,
Oh
he's
my
probably gonna hit on me.
You know what? That
I
is-
try to keep
that-
my head
That
down
is
and-
actually a fair assessment.
I try
like,
to avoid that.
You
And
really
that-
shined in that room.
I
That's what I'm
hate
saying.
that situation. I hate that situation
that's
though, where
fair.
I'm like, this person's gonna hit on me. It's my least favorite situation in the world. I don't like when people.
No, that makes sense.
I don't like when my husband hits on me. Like, I don't want any of that. Like, it just makes me uncomfy. I don't know. I'm
What the
sorry,
fuck
man.
is wrong with you?
I'm broken. We've already
No, she's crazy. She,
We've already done
She
that.
already said it.
we've already been over it.
And we're all crazy.
No, it just drives
Yeah,
me
this is
nuts.
true.
It's like I
But
don't know
not to
why.
want attention from your spouse.
I mean, I like attention. I just don't necessarily like
Well,
when he's like,
Have you ever talked to yourself in the way that somebody would hit on you? Like, as in, like,
That's how I jerk
Hit
off.
No,
on
I
yourself.
don't do acid.
No, just hit on yourself. Look in the mirror. Like I've done this shit sober. Like, dude, it fucking it'll boost your confidence.
Really?
but like, would you feel
Do
comfortable?
you hit on yourself in the mirror?
Would
I don't think very highly of myself.
exactly.
No,
that's
I don't-
why I do it, because I'm just like I kind of.
Well, I'm not creative
I
enough to
kinda
tell
wanna feel like
myself good things. That's
Oh my gosh.
just like, look at your Adam's apple. You
I'm
piece of
not
shit.
known for being particularly like optimistic or positive. I feel like I'm more known for my like incisive feedback on life.
I feel like
And
you
that's
shit
my
on a lot
problem
of
in the
people for
mirror.
being losers.
Where
You're like, I have my shit together. I'm successful. Look
I
at you
feel like
people.
you feel that way because you shit on me for being successful.
Do I?
I mean, like, are the peacocks outside? Is the sky blue? Like,
Do I shit on her for being successful?
I mean,
She's just like, Paris sucks. I'm like, sorry, we don't all have a lot of money. Is that shitting on you?
we don't all have a lot of money. The point is that I worked my ass off my freshman year of college and I paid for myself to go to Paris, and like everyone acts like somebody was sitting in the back writing a check, and like that's just not the case. So like maybe I get a little belligerent about my success from time to time, but it gets old. It gets real old in our group of friends where I'm like, I'm so sorry that I worked so hard and got lucky because I was prepared, and that my parents didn't pay for anything, and that my parents declared bankruptcy when I was a little kid, but somehow I'm privileged and an asshole. Like, just everyone assumes. They're like, oh, well, you have it together and you wear a collar. And I'm like,
You do wear a collar.
You do
bite
wear
my
a collar,
banger. I
yeah.
like a collar, okay? I grew up with a lot of Jews. Keep up.
Good for you. Good for you. Now we're getting loose. Drink more.
exactly.
You know what? This is
Dude,
brilliant.
I love Drunk Taylor. I love Drunk Taylor so much. She's one of the wildest people that says some of the most insane
But I don't do.
shit
But I
I've
don't
ever
do
heard.
anything. That's the thing. Most people get drunk and they're like, "I'm gonna go do something stupid."
That's
I get
men.
mildly inebriated, and I'm like, "I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion."
No, and it's fun.
No, it's great.
You're like,
It
you
is
look
such a good
poor.
time. because
Where's your collar?
because you have like just this cadence in the way that you talk where it just cuts so deep, but also because of just kind of who you are, it's just like, yeah, but you can kind of like say anything, and it's just like, I guess I'll take
I mean,
it.
the problem is though, is that like sometimes I say things that like I genuinely truly believe, and I'm like,
I mean, most of the things that you say while you're talking shit are actually true.
You speak
You
extremely
just say it in a
intentionally.
way that's funny. Like
You
the
don't
way that
mean
you
it. Why are
describe
you-
situations
I
is
don't
so
know.
funny.
I feel like when I
I
talk,
feel
people
like you're
are like,
asking me for an apology, and I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
I'm actually appreciating how you just communicate in the world.
well,
Yeah.
and it's also like something where people are like, well, don't you like everyone, like when I was a kid, definitely, like particularly like, you know, like I grew up in the church, and like there was a lot of like, well, you have to be really tactful and you have to be really whatever, and like, you know, you're a woman, so like you act like quiet, and like, you know, like all these things that I was
Agreed.
supposed to be like that I just am not.
Yeah.
And so now I've kind of hit this point where I'm like, maybe they didn't communicate the way they meant, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's not what they meant. That's what I internalized. And so now I'm kind of at this point where like I'm doing comedy. Like my job requires me to be really good at talking. Like I just kind of get to the point where I'm like, I'm so tired of bullshitting. And then people are like, oh, well, like I just can't believe that my life's in shambles. And I'm like, you can't believe that your life is in shambles? Like, everything around you says shamble on it. Why? Like, how do you not know?
You bought a plaque
How
that
do you
said
not know?
shambles.
It's like people that are like, oh, I have no money. And I'm like, have you seen the amount you drink, smoke, and then smoke again?
yeah, but they do
And
that
then-
because they don't have any money.
I mean, I get the awful conundrum. I can see
but
that.
that
it's
is
like,
escapism. Like that's just
Yeah.
not a healthy way.
And, like-
to
Nobody said it's
go
healthy.
across
The
It is
worst-
easy.
the worst part about it, though, is
fair,
that I
yeah.
feel like people here and my friends here, because I've been relatively successful in my time here, assume that that's what my life has always been, and that it was easy, and that I don't have any background to come from. And like the truth is that like most of my family is like
Poor.
poor, but also like just like not like really into that like welfare mindset of like everything I can get from the government, I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna order. Like for instance, I have a distant relative that I will not name and will not identify, and something that will be online, where I filled out at an internship his EBT paperwork one day, and then the next day I sold him a $240 set of Nightmare Before Christmas sheets at Hot Topic. Fuck you, okay? Like, I worked hard to be here. This Hot Topic salary is paying for college. F you, my dude. Like, you're gonna go to my dad and tell him how poor you are and how hard it is to be a part of this family and bite my banger. Like, there's no way. There's no way. It gets on my nerves because, like, I did everything right. And then it's like, I still get shit on for it. And you're like...
Yeah,
so
but
the moral
I think
of the
it's just
story
because
is
nobody
you
else
can't...
knows what to shit on you for.
Well, I mean...
And
you kind of have it together.
And
you do. You work to have it together, so it's kind of hard to find something else.
I don't assume your life was easy. I don't assume anybody who's successful's journey was easy. It's hard. That's why a lot of people don't make it. Like, a lot of people are poor. Like, I would say the majority, right?
Yeah.
No.
So you're an outlier of sorts for people our age group, especially those that pursue comedy.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that, but there's also part of it where it's like almost the assumption in itself is like damaging, where it's like
To you or them?
to everyone. Like, it's like damaging to connection, it's damaging to relationship, it's damaging to your jokes. Like, I feel like there are things I can't make jokes about that I 100% know about, but like if I make them now, looking the way I look, dressing the way I dress, I look like an absolute asshole.
Just
but,
try
like,
it.
No.
Honestly,
No, thank you.
honestly, that sounds like a great idea. Just
I bet they're better
fucking
jokes.
do it.
You might have to work on them a little bit.
Because they're real. They are true to you. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like if you can say something that's true to you, which is one of the things that I like most about your comedy is most of it is true, and you somehow have this passion, but you're able to make it seem like
Do you ever
it's
tell people
okay.
you're lying about the premise of a joke just so that they don't know that it's true?
No.
Like,
No,
if you
but
tell
if you
it-
ever say that, I'm going to assume it's true now.
So, like, someone in my life that, like, normally doesn't come to these things overheard a joke and was like, oh, my gosh, like, so you, like, when did that happen?
You hate your husband?
And I straight up was like, no, I do not hate my husband. I make a lot of jokes about my husband. Things have been a struggle. We're good. Much love. Jadrian gets to listen to our conversations on the phone all the time by accident.
Seems
Really?
like a pretty good guy. Yeah.
All the time.
It's the easiest way to know.
Yeah.
That's a real judgment test
Yeah.
right there.
Like,
Fly
he
on the
called
wall.
when we were driving in the car last night.
Oh, this white bitch almost got me stabbed last night, son.
At McDonald's?
This fucking white girl, I'm high on acid. I looked at her as we were leaving the Starlight, and I was just like, you were my safest choice tonight. And
I would have just taken you straight home.
It was a bad choice.
we are walking down the street, and she gets scared by a guy who's having a
I
rough
didn't
time.
get scared. I thought I recognized him, which I did.
Oh, okay. I was high on acid, so.
All right, continue. I'll let it go. It's fine.
But she was just like, I think I know that guy. Can we turn around and go see if I know him?
No, I was like,
I
can we
would
do
say no.
another? Can we do another pass by just so I can see if I recognize him?
Yeah, because it's not going to seem sketchy. We pass him, we turn around, we pass him,
That's
we turn
We
around.
did a
Exactly what I
lap.
thought.
We did a lap.
We did do a lap. We went across the street. We came around.
Oh. Just acted like you wanted to see both sides.
that was my idea. I felt real proud of it
Good
because
job.
I was like, I'm high on acid. The best way to do that
At
would
the
be to go all the
time,
way
I
around.
didn't know that this input was given while on acid, to be fair.
He is a sneaky fool.
It was a good idea.
He's one of those
Dude, I
guys.
told you like twice during the night. I was
You
just
did
like, I'm
not,
so high.
Jadrian.
Did I
You
not?
kept saying,
No.
I'm so high. You smoke
Well, you
more
were
than
talking to your
most
new
people I
boyfriend.
know, so I assumed.
No, this is fair.
Oh
This
my
is fair.
gosh,
I was-
Freddie, if you're out there.
Oh, he's definitely listening. He remembers
Also,
everything we
what the
talked
heck
about.
is up with that? Where like I literally was sitting there the whole night playing with my wedding ring. Like, if he just notices my wedding ring, he'll leave me alone. If he just notices my wedding ring, he'll leave me alone.
He doesn't care. You know how many people's wives
Oh
that dude's
my
probably fucked?
gosh!
Do
And
you
then
realize how
and
many
the
wives
worst
he's
part-
fucked in front of husbands?
The worst part of the whole thing is that I only sat there because it was your backpack, and I was like, "Oh, this is a safe space."
That's fair.
Well, that's gone.
Well, you didn't sit in between anybody. You left the whole. That's like going to the urinal in the middle. You're like, there's a guy over here. Nobody's over here. It's a wild card who's going to piss next to you.
I thought sitting next to Brian, this is a safe bet. I don't want to interrupt these two BFFs having some in-depth conversation. I'm going to go over here. It's going to be safe. And the next thing I know, I'm flanked. And I'm like, oh, no, I've done something bad. And it just didn't end. It's fine.
It did end. 3 comics in.
Yeah, it did
You were
end
right,
pretty
though,
honestly.
that, like, I feel like had that order been different, like, I just feel like they're too similar, if that makes sense. Like, too similar in cadence, so it's hard to, like, bump it up. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Like, I feel
Emma
like
actually did really good.
Oh, Emma did.
Host set was great.
Emma did fucking great.
It just, like,
I just
had
feel
a
like
real
if you
lull
put-
after that.
I feel like if you put too many people that communicate the same,
Soft people.
like tempo, it just
Yeah.
gets, like, kind of... And, like, that's not anybody's fault. It's just, like, that sucks.
That was just the way the sign-up list went.
Sometimes
true.
you win, sometimes you lose.
But we
I
had
was
a
kind
great-
of okay with our
great crowd
loss.
at
I'm
the
not going to
end.
lie. Brian was heartbroken.
I was a little heartbroken, but then I realized how many more people were in the crowd, and I was like, all right, I'm pretty happy with this decision. Trying to make 2 people laugh versus
I did have a
actually
good
had a
time.
room.
I don't think I did a great set. Everything was disconjointed and kind of disconnected, but I had a
You
good
were
time just being like,
in an alternate dimension.
here are fucking jokes. Hi, people. Here. Hi. Let me give this to you.
yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
I don't really
Had a good time.
remember my set per se.
No.
I did record it, but
That's good.
You should
I remember it
definitely
being
listen
fucking wild.
to it. There are a couple times where you hit a tempo where it was like that is
My favorite
gold.
parts, though,
Yeah.
admittedly, are when... So, like, some people will get lost and look panicked. You will get lost and not know where you were going with something, and you'll do this. Into the audience.
Just clean the slate.
As if the audience is supposed to know. And you just stare at them until you're like, well, anyway, clean slate. I forgot, so next. And, like, there's just no panic. There's no sense of, like, urgency whatsoever.
That might have been the weed,
No.
because usually I do feel a pretty extreme internal panic whenever the words stop coming naturally.
Can we talk about something? About
Sure.
a set that you did. Why do you think ripped jeans mean hoey past?
I don't even remember saying that.
So I brought my
When that guy
sorority
ripped
sister
jeans.
that was
Oh.
visiting me.
Well, she was being fun.
She was being fun, so her ripped jeans meant hoey.
Well, she said she used to do drugs.
I said she used to do drugs.
So not only did you share your friend's secrets with one person or 2 people, you shared them with the whole goddamn audience and knew I was going to repeat it.
I mean, it's not a
So
well-kept
you've
secret,
been there.
so I get it.
So you've been there. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I haven't been, like, trying to hoe it up for some NFL player to come on my podcast, but I see your point.
That was not my motivation.
If he was gonna, if he was,
I was
gonna
trying to keep
come,
him
it would be
around.
on our OnlyFans.
Ooh.
What, OnlyFans?
Do you want to subscribe or?
Do you
Why do
have
you
an
wanna know?
OnlyFans?
It's the red light weekend.
Stop if you are under 18.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
It's called the red light.
Or
weekend.
not into Adam's apples.
A lot of gay
Or
dudes
chest
are. I
hair.
promise. They hit me up constantly.
For your Adam's apple? Is that
Constantly.
real? Is that like
is
it happens
that
all the time?
actually real?
You think I fucking made that up? No,
yeah,
I'm
because it
deleting
sounds
messages.
fucking
I don't
made
know.
up.
I delete messages constantly, bro.
But do they
Next when I
offer
get
to
one,
like pay?
all the time.
Why do you say no?
Yeah, why do you say
Because it's a slippery slope.
Into what? What are you worried about?
Spreading my cheeks for an extra $100.
You think
Jesus
Kelly's gonna let
Christ,
that
man.
happen? Like I don't understand.
you take one picture of your Adam's apple, and you can send it to all of these people. Get a quick buck, and the next time you need a quick buck, take another picture of your Adam's apple.
I feel like that's like selling cocaine, though. You don't just
Haven't you
sell
done that?
No,
Mm.
I haven't. No,
Mm.
I've always done every bit of cocaine I've been in possession of. I promise you that.
I was with this perfectly respectable person.
Who did cocaine?
And
What a
I
piece of shit.
hold on. I was like, for some reason, I went into this exchange thinking that he was going to be like very reserved and kind of conservative in his behavior, and that I was going to have to tone it down.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, he was like, "Do you know anyone with coke? I love coke." And I was like, "Oh, I have unlocked a level of friendship I did not mean to. Oops. But
That means he trusted you.
Do
all right,
people tell
Alan,
you that those things often?
a lot?
Really?
A lot.
No,
People
that
tell
makes
me
sense.
stuff a lot.
I
And
would
this is
never
the problem.
ask you for
This is the problem, though, guys, where there are two extremes, right? Where either I'm with a crowd and I'm too conservative and have too much of a color and like I too this and too that, or it's like she's too progressive, she's too this, she's just blah blah blah, and so like it's like no matter which end of that spectrum you're on, you're screwed. No one likes you.
Yeah, I'm usually the one with the wild child. Like,
Yeah.
I always say something a little too far because I kind of like to know where the line is. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you start getting a little chummy, and then I say something too far, and everybody looks at me. I'm like, oh, my bad. I do comedy. That was just a joke. And then that sometimes works.
How
often does that work? Because I doubt it works.
It doesn't work.
I was at work.
Somewhere you still work?
Yeah, somewhere I still work.
Yeah, you said it a bunch of times last week.
But I was there on shift and I was like, we should get rid of these paper straws. Fuck the turtles.
We don't put our trash in the ocean. We bury it. There is no fucking turtles.
Also,
Why
can
am I
we-
subjected to paper straws?
Can we discuss that? What percentage of plastic straws is the plastic waste in the world?
It's probably not.
I mean,
a tiny
Coca-Cola
Less-
is
bit.
the biggest
less than
creator
1%?
of plastic waste.
Less than 1%, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Probably when you think balls.
Like, I feel really bad for the turtle in that
And-
video that went around with like through his nose, and it looked like a septum ring of someone that needs too much attention from their dad. Like, I get it. Like, I get why I feel bad for that turtle, but like,
No, you know who made that video? A motherfucker that makes paper straws. Like, that was a hustle for fucking soft people. Just like, and if I lived on the coast, maybe I'd feel differently about it because a lot of trash does go in the ocean. But here in the middle of the country, we bury that shit like fucking Americans. We just put a hill on top
now
of it.
he's qualifying what being an American is.
I mean,
Based on your
is burying your trash
Bury
not
our
American?
trash.
I would argue putting your trash in the ocean is slightly
Do we
foreign
still
because a lot of
burn
the world
trash?
does it.
Do we burn trash?
I don't
Do we
think
burn
so.
Trash?
I think it's really, really bad for people.
Yeah. Do other people
Well,
burn
like, because
trash?
like the military does the whole
Our
burn
military
pit
does.
problem, and then like everyone like has like really bad like cancer and stuff afterwards, right?
The people that
Like, thank
are
you for
willing
serving
to
your
serve
country.
our country.
Here's the world's worst cigarette.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's no taking it out of your
Balls,
mouth.
I
It
see.
is constant cigarette. Like,
It's bad. No, it's really bad.
Yeah,
and
the
they,
burn pits
aren't they
are a real
burning
big
like
issue.
chemical stuff too? That like
every single thing that they do not want anymore. They burn human excrement. They burn everything.
I feel like human excrement is the
Delicious.
least of the problems that they're burning.
What are they eating?
What are they
I would
eating?
argue that,
What are they eating?
yeah, because what they're eating, they're shitting, which is then burning, and then they're breathing. So if they're eating terribly,
Okay, P.S.
they're
So I
breathing
know this guy that's in the Navy.
bad food shit. I don't know.
And when they accept food onto like the boat or submarine or whatever he's on, sorry, I didn't listen to your job. Sorry. I was also
I would
drunk
listen
when
to
I heard
that
about
job.
that. I was a little distracted. But like, so apparently there are all these stamps all over it of like where it was rejected from like prisons and stuff. Like that it wasn't good enough or that they were too defective.
I feel like
or,
that should go the other way.
And they send it.
And they
to,
send it to the military.
That should go the other
to
way
people that are
around.
like, oh my gosh, can
That's
you imagine how
wild.
demoralizing that would be? You're like, I signed my country to protect them, and I'm gonna be this contract, and then all of a sudden you're like, and here's black beans with chemical contamination that the prison systems of
Is that
New
what
York,
that smell is when you
New
cook an
York,
MRE?
Vermont, and
Do you cook an MRE?
I mean, you put the water in the bag and then it like does its thing.
Why do you think Jadrian doesn't eat that much?
Dude,
Those are his
MREs.
options.
dude, I actually grew up like asking for MREs. I was like, I fucking love those meals.
So
Yeah,
what he's
because
saying
when
is
you're a
it
kid,
wasn't.
you're stupid.
It
McDonald's
wasn't-
was the shit when I was a kid.
Jadrian still thinks McDonald's is a shit.
Right.
I
I was speaking in general.
think like the problem might be that like it wasn't trauma that made you the way you are, that it might just be inherent and we're gonna be okay with that.
Oh, okay.
I'd put
Fair enough.
money on trauma.
Eating MREs for funsies as a kid.
Yeah, but I also thought astronaut
I'm a-
ice cream was good.
I'm actually gonna say that
Garbage.
that's trauma. I'm gonna
Astronaut
say
ice
that's
cream?
trauma.
Have you had astronaut ice cream?
What's
It's
astronaut
like
ice
freeze
cream?
dried bar.
I'm gonna
I
go
know I
with
haven't.
drama.
It's terrible.
No, because I used to eat them because I was just like, I wish my other brother was here because maybe
That's
then I'd
tragic, James.
maybe I'd feel like this was a complete family and I wasn't just adopted and
Jesus.
Ow! I just got a cramp from telling the
Do you
truth.
remember how he got a reminder on his phone for therapy right before we started? Let's remind you. You need to keep that.
Oh, I'm going on Thursday.
I think I could probably benefit from some
No,
therapy.
Yeah.
you don't say. I've never heard that ever
You don't go
before.
to a therapist?
No.
Ever?
Who has
Have you
the
ever?
time?
Have you ever?
No.
Man,
Not
you,
once.
you can do it over on your phone. That's what I do. I don't have to go nowhere. I can just be at home.
You
I'm
could
never
be,
at home. Jay.
You could be picking pot.
I
Or
could.
Whatever you,
You-
do.
you
I don't know
could,
what you do,
yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah,
that
picking
accurate?
pot like flowers. Yeah, totally.
Is that the verb?
Sure.
Harvesting?
There you go.
There
Look at you picking
you
up
go.
on it. You're a
Picking it up.
natural farmer.
Freddie, I'm learning.
Oh, Freddie.
Oh, God.
Should have said harvesting last night. He would have got rock hard. She knows the lingo.
Oh, my gosh. And then you, when I however I passed it or whatever, and you're like, see, she knows how to smoke. She knows how to smoke. It's like a lifetime. It's like just like hereditary from the Italian DNA. Where
I
you're
feel like those weren't my exact words, but yeah. I don't remember what I said yesterday.
Yeah, let's not pretend like you remember better than me.
I don't think I ever remember anything. I think every moment is so traumatic.
like a goldfish.
Block it out, bro. I have a lot of shitty days. Like, just a lot of work that nobody wants to do, but you got to do. And I'm the guy that does it, and it sucks.
You wanted to own your own business, to be fair.
No, that's
Right.
why I
Kind of
do
what
it.
that means.
No, years ago I stopped doing that for $15 an hour or whatever. So I was like, this is definitely not worth it.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that like a year ago?
No, I was a cook.
Wasn't that like a year ago?
A cook, yeah. I'm talking about mixing concrete in a bucket. You ever done that?
Oh.
Like
I have done that.
cutting.
It will
like
surprise everyone in the Durango comedy scene.
Right.
I have mixed concrete in a bucket.
for like 2 days straight,
It's
Like,
not fun. I get that.
and like just carrying pipe and all kinds of bullshit that I decided to stop doing a long time ago for a job because it was never worth it.
I was telling.
But now I'm doing it for free.
There's no good way. I don't
because I'm
like.
starting a business.
I really don't like dropping the words "my husband" in conversation. It just sounds weird, but I can't say his name here without him getting mad.
I
but
feel like my husband's a perfectly
I
reasonable
know,
way.
but it just sounds weird. It's just I don't know.
That's not good.
I don't. No.
There's a lot of red flags
No,
here.
like my husband. Like
I
it just
hate
sounds
saying my
super. It
husband.
sounds like way too formal or something. Like I don't know. Like it just sounds.
I say my girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It just sounds. I had no problem saying my boyfriend. That was normal. My fiance. That felt normal. My
Really?
husband
It's so
just.
French.
My husband feels like I'm like.
Flexing?
Oh, like you're just like, I found one.
That's the
Or
Jewish
like
childhood.
that's what they like expect from me or something, and I just don't like it. Anyway, that guy that I am
You need to own who
monogamous and legally connected to,
True.
you know, there's a little bit of I need to own who I am, and there's a little bit of like I just need to like,
you are. Accept who you are?
no, it's not care what people like you think.
What's your therapist say?
That I need to not care what people like you think.
No.
I
That
love
makes
you.
Let's take a gamble. Let's
But
play a
also,
game.
You were
but
How
also,
many
but also
times-
not
Wait, no,
caring
no.
what other people think does bring you into just
We're gonna do some
being more of yourself.
self-awareness game playing here. How many times?
mini games.
How many times? Write it down and then show me, and I'll tell you which one of you is right.
I'll take that.
Do you think your name has come up with my therapist? I'll do my best. You're both wrong. You're both so wrong. This is fun. I'm enjoying myself.
What's the real number?
I don't know. Let's
Now,
see.
now that's just the ego being like,
You probably a good bit.
oh, okay, fair enough. We
Less
are
than
pretty
10,
close,
more than 7.
yeah. Okay.
It's a pretty narrow range. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
that's decent.
I was thinking of like instances that I would have shared.
Do I?
I can think of them exactly 4.
Do I add trauma to your life?
Sometimes. Once,
Really?
twice. Not like trauma, not like, oh, my mom. Like, but like, you know, trauma. Like, oh, hey, this thing like reminded me of this.
Because
and,
of
like,
a
now
joke
I'm
I
gonna need
made? Not counting last night.
Oh, well, Monday hasn't happened yet, so we'll get there.
Uh,
The number's
So
about
5.
to go up. No, like I think sometimes you like reinforce that like weird feeling I have in me that I can't be like I'm like in this weird gray area of people, and
No,
I
you're
don't
not.
love it.
not if you keep doing comedy. You're a comic.
I mean, it's only weird when you say it's weird.
No, but it's weird no matter what. That's not fair, because like
Well, all of this is weird. It doesn't matter what position you're in. All of this is kind of fucking weird. Nothing is actually planned out.
are you talking about like
Everything-
life, or are
yeah.
you talking about
Well, both. In both instances, like, because you are where you are right now, inherently just makes it okay, like, that you're here.
We all love you.
See, you guys all say
You
that.
belong. I feel like you have
Yeah,
trauma
dude.
from when you first started comedy, and
you
maybe
were a dick.
was I?
Yeah. Oh, like
Well,
dick,
I've seen your
capital
set.
D-I-C-K.
Maybe you were shitty.
This is fair. We all kind of sucked when we started.
I was really a dick
Yeah,
on stage or in person.
in person.
Really?
Yeah, twice.
I feel like I'm not that mean.
Enough that Drew one time was like,
Well, you did admit that you
Was
do
like-
cross a line,
was
and
like,
you're just like,
hey
all right.
man, like keep at it. After you were done talking, and I was like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
I
fine.
said keep at it.
No, Drew did
Oh.
to make up for what you said.
What did I say? I feel like
Uh,
I'm very positive to new comics.
it was my third time, and you told me that I wasn't punchy enough, and that no one knew what I was talking
I
about.
mean, around
and
It's
you
not that mean.
and you didn't mince words, and then
around that time, we were also kind of
newish.
we weren't where we are now, because
I'm nowhere.
what I mean is, like, we have still progressed, and now
I think
our,
it
our
wasn't-
attitudes have changed to where it's like, yes, we do want to be welcoming and
To be
encouraging,
fair-
but early on, I remember being a lot more just like, that guy sucks, that guy fucking sucks,
Me?
all of
To
it
be
was
fair-
garbage, da da da.
To be
like,
fair, I
like there was
don't-
a bit more ego before it came crashing down a little bit with like having.
I
to
don't think
take
it was
breaks.
what you said. I think it was the fact that it was unsolicited and that you walked up to me in a place where I had no friends just to tell me what I did wrong.
I was trying to help.
Were you?
Those are notes. Nobody knew what you were talking about, probably using a lot of big words and not punchy enough. I don't feel like that's a shit thing to say to somebody that's aspiring to do comedy. You want me to fucking lie to you?
I mean,
No, I
that's
just want you
fair.
to not
This is-
say
The people I
anything
care-
to
This
is a
someone that you
fair
don't know
point.
about.
Yeah, but I agree. But I think the fact that I actually said anything
Was you
showing
caring?
interest in you.
You
because
realize
you know how
that
many
No,
people I don't?
There are people I don't talk to after
Constant.
they do sets
lot.
because I'm just like,
Way more.
I hope they don't come back.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want them to be like, hey, I'm going to go see Brian.
Yeah.
Is it terrible that at first you said that and I was like, wow, that's so rude, and then I like thought of one specific person and I was like so like I get it, but also I think that there's a
It was
little bit
unsolicited.
it was unsolicited, and I think there's a little bit of a power thing that people don't realize in a small community scene, and like Bianca can suck it. She's gonna tell me like, you just gotta grind harder, and I'm like, whatever.
She's right.
Like,
I don't know if you've seen where Bianca's at in Tucson, but I
In
would
Tu-
listen.
in Tucson though, where it's like a
Where it's
totally
Kind of
different
more
environment.
possible to grind. There are more opportunities.
And
like
if I wanted to do
like
that,
here, we can
like,
grind as much as we can,
Mm-hmm.
but that's exactly it.
and
It's
I
as
don't
much
want to
as
make
we
excuses. Like, you can drive somewhere else, you can do
Yeah.
the things, you can book the shows. Like, I totally get that, and I've done that, and I can get on that train. There is part of it though where there's this like built-in thing in our scene, and like I feel okay saying that considering I've done shows other places where like it didn't feel that way, where there's this like, well, I was here first and you're like, okay, but like you were here first, that doesn't mean that like if you don't like introduce yourself, build trust, do anything other than your set, like that, like it's like I'm supposed to just like trust you as a friend. Like that's like a weird expectation that like
It's not
because
a friend, it's a
you
comic.
do this weird.
And that's how I treat people that sign up. Like, if you go up there, do
That's
your
true.
thing,
I
I don't
am
have
not,
a problem being
I'm not
like,
friends with all of the comics. Like,
but you would give somebody tips that
Yeah.
you're not necessarily friends with because they
not-
keep showing up.
not
And if
really.
you see somebody, not
That's
even
what
if,
I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying. We're like, okay,
that means he
so
doesn't care.
yeah, this is
No,
because I don't care.
I would argue differently though. No, you're doing that thing where you downplay your investment in people because it makes you feel more secure in who you are as a person, and I will not allow it.
Doctor?
Because you and I will have conversations full on where like I have to be like, hey, remember that line that you said in that joke? And you're like, oh my God, I love that line. And then like we'll be able to discuss like the structure of a joke that's yours, that there's something I really like about it, and it's kind of a criticism that you forgot it, but it's also like a thing where I'm like, but this makes it so much cooler, and we can have that conversation, but we can have that conversation because we're friends. If some rando whose names I will list not on this podcast came up to me and was like, Taylor, I really think in that joke about you being pregnant that you need to I'm not pregnant for the record.
Not even a
and, like,
comic?
no.
You just don't want fucking feedback.
I think I want feedback. I don't want feedback from people that like haven't like
That you don't know.
no, like I mean I don't mean this in like I'm so awesome. I mean this in like I think every person needs to have boundaries, whether that be like professionally or for me in this creative thing that I do or like whatever. Where
No,
it's
that
like
makes-
unless you've earned it, you don't get a spot here.
That does make sense because you've had a drunk person come up to you after a show and be like,
Like that weird dude that everybody
and,
got
like,
in
say
fights
some,
with
say,
and stuff.
say some weird shit that's just like, all right, dude, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
but I didn't tell my fucking therapist about it.
you don't have a therapist.
I still don't think I would have.
And also like it's not just joke things. Like that was the easiest one to tell you about. But like there like I think there's a difference when like someone like makes a joke about you that's something where you're like, haha, like I look put together, and like, haha, I look put together, so therefore I'm like you made a joke once that I think I'm better than everyone.
I feel like that's how you talk on
I
stage.
have a better vocabulary than everyone.
I don't think it's just vocabulary based. I think sometimes you're like, I'm the shit.
So when you drop that view in casual conversation,
I thought I was on stage.
No, you weren't on stage.
Oh,
This was in
okay.
person. Like, I'm allowed to think you're a douche if you're like, I'm going to take this thing that you said in a creative outlet that Lord knows how much of this is made up and Lord knows how much of this is accurate. Good on me for making it feel accurate because that's the whole entire point. And then applying it to a personal friendship is like, red flag. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, obviously, but I assume
the
I was
weed.
trying to make a joke.
I get it. No, I get it. And I'm not mad at you. And that's not
Yeah.
what if I were mad
People
at you, I would have
say-
been like, hey, Brian, like, I really think that was fucked up. But like,
Yeah, you
I-
should.
I don't.
If you ever think
and,
something's fucked up, you should just
I
tell
just, but like, also the point is that like this conversation, it's like kind of hard to have a, no offense, like this isn't just you. This is a lot of people in our scene. It's kind of hard to have an opinion without somebody being like, I heard you. Now let me tell you in explicit terms why I think you're absolutely wrong and your personal experience is not to be trusted. Like, it's like, okay, like, sure, I see your point of view. I can like take that into account and how I perceive the situation. But like also, I'm gonna be damned if I let some random dude that I see twice a week like shape how I see like a hobby. No, like not just you. I mean, everyone's a random dude. Everyone but like 3 comics is a random dude. Like,
It's true.
so like, you know,
Used to be 4.
what is
We got
it?
another one.
Like, it's terrible.
It's not terrible. It's facts. I don't think Bailey would hear that and be like,
That's
fuck
funny.
you, Brian.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
Bailey would be stoked because I recognize him as a random dude. I'm a friend of the trans community, okay?
like,
I'm friends with everybody, I think. So when people tell me I was a dick, I feel like it was definitely unintentional.
no, I definitely feel like it was unintentional.
Mm.
If it hadn't been unintentional,
just
I
who
would
I
have
am
bit back for a
Is
long
a
time.
douche. Gotcha.
I mean, Freddie, he did out me.
As what? Somebody that doesn't smoke weed?
I just feel like it's like not a fun party trick to be a prude.
That's fair.
It's like
I
everyone.
made you feel like an outsider. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you definitely
I
othered
didn't
me.
think about
where
that.
you were
I
like,
apologize.
everyone here smokes weed except this bitch.
Yeah,
like,
the
I'm
one with the 401k.
Like, I'm enough of an other to begin with. And, like, it's funny and, like, maybe I'm aggressive on stage because I try to write jokes about it. But, like, at some point, it's like, so you want me to show up here every Monday and every Tuesday and soon to be every Thursday at Old Timers.
On the 19th, actually. Thank you.
And then to my mic and put all this effort into it and to write. And then every time I see anybody, there's going to be a comment about my 401k or about how I don't smoke weed or about how my weird Italian family made mistakes or like
I don't think they made mistakes. I think they're awesome, and I want to meet all of them.
You too.
But I also
You don't want to hang out with them.
meet
I
your
do.
family. Yeah.
You can hang out with them. That's
I mean,
fine.
this is an outside experience. It'd be like kind of like going to the museum, you know?
You ever been to an aquarium? Ooh.
There's something.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about meeting anybody's family. It's just like this
Oh
is
my
like a
gosh.
museum of your life.
Meeting
Like-
people's families is like it's like reading a biography and like a really unfortunate rendition of the future all in one book.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jadrian's best
Past
friends
and
with my
future.
mom now. Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, dude.
What's your mom's name?
Lisa?
Yeah.
Lisa.
Dude,
She
she's
listens.
great.
She listens.
Mhm.
I love her to death. She was one of the kindest people that I've ever met.
She's a
It was
sweetheart.
great.
I think she made me soft.
I think she made me soft. Is that why your dad has issues with the backwards hat?
Yeah, he's just always thought I was gay. Probably because
What is that? Why?
I don't
where
know.
did that
My
come
parents
from?
got divorced when I was young, and then I was soft
you're
because I
gay?
was basically raised by women, and then I would cry
Well, if he.
a lot every time. Like, my dad would have like the real life conversations with me, like the ones that I never got anywhere else, and it would always be like on the ride to school. You know what I mean? And he would bring up like the realest shit that I've ever addressed in my life, and I would cry because
Because that's what happens
I
when you
felt
bring up
shit.
real stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But
No,
based
I
on that, he's
remember
just
a
like,
couple of
it's
those.
fucking pussy. Like, I'm guessing.
Oh my
No, I
gosh.
remember a couple of those as well, man.
And I think he just thinks I'm a pussy because I was raised mostly by women, and I would cry when real shit got brought up. And that was just like a lot of childhood because I was only with my dad every other weekend. And I'm guessing my mom would be like, hey, this is going on in his life. You need to talk to him about it. You know what I mean?
And then it's like, well, these are the 20 minutes.
So we'd have a father-son conversation that I would inevitably cry. And like, yeah.
Well, at this point in the conversation, normally I would employ some active listening skill, and then I would start telling you a story about how I too relate to you, and this is what I've
I
been
don't
through.
assume you cry that much.
But I cry so much.
Okay.
But I can't talk about my family in public, or they will inevitably hear it, and then I'm gonna have to answer questions, and it's gonna be terrible. So we're gonna move on.
My
Fair
dad
enough.
listens too, so he
Fair
just learned something.
I have family that listens. None of it's made it back to my mom, which is great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
P.S. Don't
it's
tag me in
fantastic.
this.
It's like the family code.
Yeah. No, it's
My,
nice. I think my mom has purposely just been like, "Don't tell me anything."
There aren't a whole lot of people that
Good
I
mom.
like talk to in my family, like on a real level. Like most of them are just like, "Hi, how are you? Let me kiss your butt," Mwah. And like then it's over. But like the few people that actually know even a tidbit of information about me have all said something to the effect of like, "You just like turned out way different than I thought you would."
Based on your family?
Yeah, and I'm like,
You went the other way.
is that a compliment? like, cause they're all still in touch. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, clearly it wasn't like it went south or something. I'm like,
No.
okay, well, my dad's side
Well,
of
it
the
doesn't
family
have to go
thinks
south.
I'm like
That's
this
family.
like spoiled
Stay in touch with family.
I mean,
some
I don't.
family.
Yeah, but older people.
I mean,
once
there
you
are
have
definitely
kids-
people I'm related to that I'm like hard pass, like just because of like history
Same.
and stuff. But like,
Same.
yeah, I mean, so I think like part of it's like, yeah, family, you stick it out, and then the other part of it's like, you're not gonna be on my close friends on Instagram. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't like. Bleh.
Yeah, I have people that try to follow me on or want to be friends on Facebook that I'm definitely like, I just don't need whatever's going to come out of this. Like, if I post a fucking comedy clip about wolves eating homeless people or something, like, I don't need to know what you
Wait,
think
I
about
missed
it.
that
I just
joke,
realized-
actually.
I think I might bring it out tonight.
You didn't finish. Sorry, this is terrible that wolves eating homeless people reminded me of this. You didn't finish our story from last night from me recognizing that guy.
Oh, this white bitch trying to fucking get me killed.
No, I assumed a homeless-looking man.
Yep. Crouching.
Was he telling jokes for quarters?
No, not that one.
Oh, gotcha.
No,
How many homeless people do you hang out with?
He wasn't homeless when we. It's fine.
Ah.
But either way, she was just like,
I feel really
let's-
bad for the guy. Like his mental health is struggling, and it was hard. Anyway, I just wanted to circle back, check on him, offer help, and then Dylan called when we were driving home and was like, oh god, I just said his name. Was like, I don't think you. Oops.
Officer. You said that earlier.
I think you said it actually, but
Baby.
I'm pretty sure I said it, actually.
anyway, it was like you should avoid that. Like you just shouldn't just that's a bad, dangerous
That's
situation.
exactly what I was thinking.
And Jadrian goes, "What were you gonna do if I wasn't here?" And I immediately had to be like, "What was I gonna do if he wasn't?"
Yeah, like,
Napped.
I was just like, because that guy could have fucking murdered you.
Was he a big fella?
No, he's
no,
not
but have you
big.
seen Taylor?
I just feel bad.
Not very many people could not murder Taylor.
The majority of women, very vulnerable.
Yeah. This
No,
is
it's
true.
real. It's real.
Like,
And that, like the other person that you mentioned here, like I think about it a lot. Like after that whole incident, I was like, oh no, I'm easy to
Murder?
everything, all the things,
Right, all the bad things that nobody wants to talk about.
all the bad
You
things
should-
that like are physically implied. I'm like,
It's okay to think about that. Just act accordingly.
I mean, and most of the time I do. I feel like I'm pretty.
it just sucks that you're a good person. It really does.
And you have the resources to
because
help.
I've
So many people would have been like,
straight up.
bro, I need $1.
I mean,
Like,
and the worst part about it is like, let this person like is having a really hard time, mental health crisis, all those things. Like, I totally wish I were like big enough and like enough to be like, yeah, you can sleep in my guest bedroom and like I'll murder you if you try to murder me. Like, but like that's not where I'm at.
I don't feel like
that's
that.
not who I am as a person.
yeah.
And like I just like can't. I don't know. There's
You
like
can't not do nothing.
that situation where
Is
I was
that-
like,
Is that a correct sentence?
yeah, that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Double
double negative, but
Whatever.
like you know.
You got to do something. You
yeah.
could have just said
I
that,
just
yeah.
feel like I just hate those situations where I'm like I want to help this person, I want to these things, but then like I also like work in that industry and know that like it's not one thing and like one impact isn't gonna, but like maybe it could. You know, it's like this weird like.
It's kind of like a domino effect, like like the butterfly effect, where it's like you
I
don't
know that like
where this.
I mean like think about
like,
our friends, like
checking
when
on
one
these
thing
people
goes
could help.
wrong and they like whatever and like things start going wrong, it's like one thing goes wrong, and so it's like kind of the same thing where like when someone commits to like doing things well, they can go the other way, but like someone has to help them with that first doing things well, and like I want to be that person, but then also like I don't
offering your guest room.
want to get buried. I mean, the person I'm married to would never let me do that. But like, you know, it's just like that instinct is there, which is also a really good reason that I'm married, because if there weren't another person regulating our home, that would be really bad.
Just getting murdered in your own house. Be a
Just
goddamn
me
shame.
being like, come stay with me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're a really
Either
good
that, or
person.
you'd
Like-
be even more neurotic, and you'd invite people in, and you'd just be sitting on the other side of your bedroom door with a
That's-
gun, just.
I mean, not with a gun. I really hate guns. They freak me out. But like I would definitely be sitting on the
A
other side of that door.
sword.
A sword.
I feel like
Can
you would be
imagine if I
into
were
a
just
gun.
really
You
into
just
knives?
with
That's
a
the accent
katana.
to my
Yeah,
personality
dude.
I need,
Fuck
Adrian.
yeah.
Just me and knives. Oh my gosh.
That would be badass. You're just flipping a
That
butterfly
won't add
knife
to
all the
the
time, dude.
psycho at
Yeah.
all. I'm gonna be totally normal.
Why do guns freak you out? As a small person that could use something to protect themselves.
So like, obviously, I've done a lot of like
Shooting?
range and training and things like that. Just by like my
Proxy.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And I, you know, they just, first of all, it's hard because, you know, my husband will always like argue, like, not argue. He'll like, kind of like, he's not a very good teacher when it comes to me. Like, he's really good at teaching other people things, but not so much me. So, like, skiing, Highly recommend him as a teacher. Me, I got scared of one little dip, and he started yelling at me that I looked like a dog with worms dragging my butt down the hill. So, like, you know, like, it's just like, yeah.
I would never say that to my girlfriend.
He literally was like, you look, like, I don't know if he yelled that exactly, or maybe he heard someone say that and then yelled it. I don't know. It was not helpful regardless. And then, like, the other part of it, though, is that, like, that's kind of him teaching me firearms, but then also, like, firearms are, like, this is the cold hard truth, where, like, if it were, like, Jadrian breaks into my house, maybe not Jadrian because I know him, I would definitely not kill Jadrian, even if he broke into my house.
I would
But,
if
like,
he broke into my house.
Oh, Jesus.
If he
But,
was
like,
running at me,
Yeah,
But,
you
like-
should kill me if
like,
I
if
break into
someone
your house.
breaks into my house and is, like, in my bedroom door, let's say, my dog's freaking out, and I'm standing there and I have a gun, I don't trust myself enough to have an opinion of myself in that moment that, like, I should off this person so that I walk out of here.
Oh, so you literally
So, like, I
could
think-
not pull the
in
trigger.
your own house.
I think I would freeze and not be able to do it, and then that very weapon that was supposed to protect me would become the
Becomes
thing
the
that
thing that
helped that
kills you.
person kidnap me. Yes, totally.
Yeah, but
Kidnap was like the lowest priority of that
I
list of
don't-
bad things.
No, secondary location.
I don't-
You're dead.
I don't think they
Like-
need a gun to kidnap you.
Agreed,
So at least you
but
have
why
an
would I
option
add
to
to
protect yourself.
That's true. That also, they might not be able to tell that you can't pull the trigger.
Right. Most people don't walk towards a gun.
Also,
pointing at
yeah,
them.
most people don't actually
That's the
want to pull
hope.
the trigger when someone walks in.
That's the hope, but like you saw me though. You know, you gave me so much shit last night. You don't have any room to talk. You were like, "What were you gonna do if I wasn't there? Were you just gonna walk up to him?" Yes, I was just gonna walk up to him, and it was gonna be problematic
like a
behavior.
fucking wild person.
And so, like, yeah, I just shouldn't be trusted. That's all. We lock our doors. We have cameras. Like,
was on-
like that's the best I could do for myself.
Do you have guns? You have to.
We have so
Yeah,
many.
yeah.
I don't have so many, but we.
But you have a gun
But have
that
so
you could
many.
reach from bed.
Is there a
Probably
gun that
more than
is
one.
yours? Like, it's just like
my dad
if
bought me
you
a gun
do
for my
use a gun-
21st birthday because
Is it a 9mm?
it is. It's a Glock 26.
Perfect.
I know
What color is it?
it's black.
I was going.
How
pink.
dare you?
I was
How
going pink.
dare you? I actually have a pet peeve about pink guns. I have the biggest pet peeve about pink
It's
guns.
weird that you have
I don't
pet
know what
peeves
kind of
about guns.
I don't know what
if
kind
you
of
like it.
relationship
hate
you
it.
have with your father. I don't know if he's just like, yeah, and
No.
here's a pink gun. Like,
It's
I was
like
just
I
curious.
bought this
No,
for
he
the
does.
last girl I was
Like, I
fucking.
don't-
Here you go.
She was your friend.
Her name was also Taylor.
Okay, so truly, I was 22 years old, St. Patrick's Day, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, like, blah, blah, blah. My husband, then my boyfriend, and I go to this bar thinking it's just like, and this woman walks up to me and, like, starts talking to me like she knows me. And I'm like, this is weird. I don't know what to do.
She was
I
drunk.
look up, and my dad is standing over her and is her date. And she's 26 years old, and I'm 22. I was like, I got to get out of here. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah, I wish I would have spent more time with your dad when he was here.
Oh,
He's
man.
fun. He's coming this summer. You guys can meet him.
Oh, great.
Didn't we meet
I
him?
wonder.
briefly?
He
I
came
wonder
to
if
us.
he'll remember me from last time when I was.
He
just,
definitely
when I was
will
like,
remember
Hi,
you
Tom.
because he refers to you as, quote, not my quote, the little twit who laughed at me. So you've found a place in his heart. Don't worry.
Fantastic.
He's got fun language.
He does have fun language.
Twit
I
is
like
a
him.
fun thing to
I
say.
like him even more, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably laugh around him a lot.
It's Tom.
It's Tom.
Tom, shout out to you.
I
Shout out
love
to
when you
Tom.
use my last name and my dad's first name in the same context.
We
He's pretty easy.
haven't said your last name yet.
It's gonna be there. I know.
Yeah, it'll be there. If you're really curious.
I was gonna use it in the fucking
If you're
title.
under
but-
the
More mini
if you're under the age of 35 and you live in the American South and you're into men with a proclivity for women closer to their daughter's age, then you should find that on Facebook.
You should fuck Taylor's dad.
Does he have money?
No.
Oh, then
Enough, but like no.
we're like young
Like it
girls are
depends, because
impressed
some
by.
people say, does he have money? Can like he buy you a drink at the local social club? Yes, many.
Most people can
Can
do
he
that.
take you on like a nice vacation? I have questions. You know what I'm saying?
Well, vacation money gets a higher class broad for sure.
Yeah.
But depending on what his standards are, I say fucking
Judging
swing
by
that
what
dick,
I've seen,
Tom.
they're not high.
Huh?
Judging by what I've seen, they're not high.
Not high standards.
Mm-mm.
Good. Oh, or high class.
Well, both.
Both.
Yeah.
Always
They
both.
usually go together. Yeah.
Porque no los dos.
No, most chicks that I meet, literally, they'll say things to me. They're just like, I'm going to use that guy for drinks tonight. And I'm like, all right, that's fucked up. I mean, I get it. Get your bite wherever. I've taken advantage
That's
of
a
people.
gamble.
Like in the past.
That's
where,
like one of our
for,
friends,
like,
though,
different
who,
things,
just, every day we'll be like, yeah, I just, can't leave this relationship because, it's comfy. And I'm like, what do you mean it's comfy? They're really mean to you. And they're like, they pay for things. I'm going to a concert this weekend. And I'm like, a concert? A concert. You're cheap. Cheap. If you're going to do it for money, at least have it be a bit much. You know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
remember who this friend
That's
is,
fair.
but Taylor has higher standards than said friend.
A concert.
Yeah, a concert's pretty affordable. Depends on the concert, I suppose.
Who would you define as an expensive concert?
I don't know. I haven't
Eagles.
gone to a concert in 8 years.
Yeah. Same. I stopped caring about life.
They're all expensive, Taylor.
Let's say
Oh,
the
man.
average concert ticket's like 15
Like
to
120?
35 bucks.
I was thinking 120. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
I
like
just
one-
expected this person to have higher standards. Maybe I'm wrong.
Are you talking about me? Is it me?
No,
Am I?
they're
No, you
not
haven't
just-
been to a concert in 8 years.
What did I
It's not
talk
you.
to you about last
They're
night?
not in
I
this
don't
room.
remember.
They're not in this room. They're not in this room. I'll tell you after, and you can be the judge for yourself.
Sounds like a female.
It's not.
Oh.
Wow,
Is
look at
it
that
really?
internalized misogyny,
Holy shit.
everyone.
All right.
Did
No,
it not sound like a female?
I mean, there aren't a lot of females that we all know together.
That's true, but which one of our friends is in a bad relationship with
Yeah.
a sugar mama?
Let's move on. I'm gonna get in trouble now.
Let's
Mini
make a
game
list.
number 4.
It's not Jason.
Write the names down. I will verify. We're
alright.
not gonna announce these things.
It's not Andy. He's in a healthy place.
Not in this state.
Oh. Not in this state.
Ah.
I still don't know.
Fair enough. I don't think we're close enough like that.
See, there's a line.
Like we're definitely friends, but we're not like that close. Like
You and me, or you and that person?
me and
Yeah. Totally.
I would have no idea.
I was gonna be really offended if it was me. I was like, we're not close enough to shit on our friends' relationships mutually? What the heck? What have we been doing for the last 2 years? How dare you?
That's how me and I was telling Taylor, like, one of my favorite things is to like just hang out next to her at a bar, because she will just find somebody in the crowd. She'll say something. We'll just talk shit about a stranger for like 10 minutes. I've said this
I'm
before.
probably not wrong.
She's probably one of the best roasters in the scene.
Right.
We're like, you have a talent.
I would love to do a roast. That's true. I've never gotten to do one, but I would love to do one. Also, there are like certain things about like, so like, I feel like a roast is a really good format because it's like what everyone has mutually agreed to, and there's like this like consent factor involved, versus like when you start doing something roasty on stage in your normal set, it's like dickish.
I feel like if you sign up, you're free game.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have different feelings on what the social contract of that sign up list is.
Clearly. I feel like if you...
I
I feel
say,
like once you sign up, you're one of us. And I talk shit to my friends.
I think of that like Tony joke, Tony Bruin, where he's like, one of us, one of us. I
That's
can't
exactly
unhear
how I
it.
feel.
I
And if
can't
you
unhear
fucking
it.
handle it, then don't sign up.
fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean,
I don't feel like I go too hard on people.
you're not easy on people.
Yeah, because it's not funny when you're easy on people.
This is true. There is a certain like,
And I've crossed the line. For sure.
yeah, pushing that boundary is fun. It's a fun game to play. Like out in public, like I
so
do.
that doesn't stress you out.
I do
no,
it
truly.
in a different
like,
way.
Do you have fun with that line, like true fun, where
What?
you're like, "This is fun. I don't have a care in the world." Fun, or is it like
with which,
type 2 fun,
with
where you're
which
like
line?
this, like that line of like going too far, or is it like type 2 fun, where you're like, "Well, I crossed it, but like in retrospect, it was fun," where it wasn't fun at the time, but now it's fun.
It's almost scary fun.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster,
It's
like
like-
a wooden
it's-
roller coaster.
yeah.
See, I don't see. That's where I think we're different about the whole comedy thing. Where like I don't really come at it from
The
a
thing
place
is
of
that
like
you do push that
this
line.
is
You
scary
really-
and like
Yeah.
You're saying things that I've seen your goddamn set. Like,
there have been times where I'm just like, I can't believe she actually said
what?
that.
Like
man.
what? Tell me one.
I don't know. I've just been shocked a few times
You're
when
the
you've
only one that
said
knows
certain
specifics
things.
here.
Interesting. No, because like I walk up there, I don't feel like I'm rolling the dice and taking a gamble. Does that make sense? Like I feel like I have firmly decided on this is going to be the joke,
Mhm.
and if it works, it works, and if it dies, it dies, and that's it. Like there's no other like I'm going to tiptoe up to the line. There's no adrenaline. There's no like.
You never write something that tiptoes up to the line?
I write things that tiptoe
No.
up to the line all the time, but like it's just like very.
You feel
It's
under
like- it's like
control
business.
because
Yeah.
you.
It's
yeah,
like business
okay.
It's
after
not in
a
the
certain point.
moment.
It's like
Yeah.
I wrote a contract or something.
Mhm.
Like I almost never tell a joke I didn't write before.
I do it all the time.
Like I almost like sometimes you'll see me like make a comment that's like a quip and that's like ad-libbed, and the rest of it is like I've thought this through. I wrote it down. Like chances are I wrote it. At least I thought it before.
I would say you go harder on audience members than most people.
I just don't care. That's the problem.
You say it extremely intentionally, and it
Yeah, I can
you
see
go hard on audience members. Whereas I feel like a lot of the time I'm like, ha, fuck you, but I want you to stay kind of thing. Where you're like, I don't give a fuck if you leave right
is
now.
where the fucking line is pushed. Where it's just like
I
where
don't
the
care.
fuck is she gonna go?
I
What-
don't even
So what
care.
makes
How
you
far
think
is she
that I
gonna
should
go
have
with
more
this,
respect
dude?
for the comics than the audience members when talking shit on stage? Because I think we're all one. I think you kind of approach it as this is me doing my thing, whereas I think I look at us as a team, kind of trying to make a good show happen.
But like we're not a team.
I
We
mean,
are
we
a
kind
team.
of are.
If you walk people,
I mean,
you're a bad team member.
yeah.
If you make people
I mean,
laugh and
I
keep the show
agree.
going, you're a good team member. We are a fucking family, Taylor, and I shit on my family into microphones constantly.
This is true. Did you hear what he said about his dad earlier?
He's a
I
good
just
dad.
this is how I kind of view it. We're like, so like if you're working in an office
We're not.
and you share a microwave, you just don't put certain things in the microwave.
That's
because
why I
it
don't
makes
let comics use my microwave.
It feels unpleasant for everyone.
Right.
So that's how I feel about walking a crowd.
What
It's
do you
like
not put
putting
in a microwave?
Fish in a microwave.
Fish?
No.
Specifically?
I don't eat fish.
How do you
so
feel
I don't
about
know.
Indian food?
Don't put.
I agree with that too. Like I don't think you should put that in a microwave
What if
in a
you're
shared
Indian?
workspace.
What if that's what you
Then
eat?
the white people are racist.
White people. At least I shit on other white people, all right?
And
Sponsored by racism.
and so like I just think like I don't I'm gonna get
Just
in
let it out like you're on
trouble.
stage.
I just wonder sometimes how much effort is put beforehand, and if we're on a team, that would bother me. If it's about our individual performances, I want everyone to have an opportunity to perform, no matter how prepared they were.
Right. You
Does
can't.
that make sense?
I get what you're saying. You can't count on people to actually put work into it.
You could have stopped for me at "you can't count on people," and I would have agreed. But
This
keep
is
on
true.
going.
No. Comics are a broken people.
Well, I
Some
mean-
care more than others. Some need the time on the mic to validate their week or to feel like they didn't not try. Like to feel like they tried. I did it too. Double negative. But to feel like they actually put some effort
mean,
into something that makes them feel good from time to time.
Yeah.
We've all gone on stage unprepared. Maybe not you, but if you're unprepared, you may not show up. Me and JJ are there every fucking Mike.
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, we can argue about this. Like, it's fine. Like, I'll go chase a peacock while you tell me I'm wrong. But like,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying
I'm
how
not
I think
sure that showing up and doing shitty work, knowing it's shitty work, helps you get better.
I would argue last night was a step towards being not only just comfortable on stage, but just speaking my mind. And
I
you
mean,
get good at drawing boundaries after you bomb in front of a bunch of people. Like, maybe don't
and
talk
I think
about
there
that.
is a virtue of bombing. Like, I definitely believe that. And I mean, like,
But only if you
we've all
have
bombed.
a prepared set.
I mean,
Because when I have a really prepared set and I bomb, it makes me way more sad.
of course. But I think, like, the investment's way higher. But I also, like, sometimes I see people bomb and they, like, act upset afterwards. And I feel almost offended for the audience that they're expected to accept that level.
Yeah, but maybe they're upset in themselves. Maybe they're disappointed in
fine.
themselves.
That's totally fine. I guess this is what it is that I have had to work really hard in my life as a person, not just like as a comic, as a person, where like when things go poorly for me because I don't try hard enough, or when things go poorly for me in general, it is not my instinct to blame other people. It is my instinct to
Well, if you're blaming,
internalize that to a problematic extent.
Blaming other people is not good.
But like
Like,
it bothers
fucking
me
audience.
when that,
No,
it
that's
bothers
on
me
you.
when
You
that
didn't adapt.
happens. And like I think that you're right that there is a part of like just like doing your rotations and getting the stud in, and like how many times can you get up there and doing the 10,000 hours and like that concept. But like I do think that there's another arm where there's this like really weird idea that like because
you
we
didn't
have
earn to do a set?
because we have 2 mics, or because we have like whatever the like idea of being limited in a small community is, or something, whatever, I don't care. Like I think some of it's excuses, and I make those excuses too, so like I'm not putting that on anyone. But like I think there's part of it where you're like, seriously, like you're gonna like blame the situation, like you're gonna like all these things when like you're not writing new jokes, we're not doing new things, we're not trying new shit. And then all of a sudden it's like the audience's fault for not wanting to hear the same joke about the same thing for the 3rd week in a row about the same person. And it's like,
It's not the audience's fault.
like
Ever.
and so I get it that there's like a contract in that, like as like a comic you kind of get to give feedback in a way that maybe like another regular Joe couldn't. But like at the same time there is like a level of like you just gotta like be like willing to like.
It almost comes down to like a level of intention where it's like yes, you can go up there unprepared, but also there are times where I've gone up on stage where I'm unprepared, and also I don't want these people to have a good time. Where where like there's a level of intention where like if you're going to go up there, you have to do it deliberately and in kind of a way that is controlled, whether it be through writing or through like kind of more free flow and like chaos, where like it's a matter of really going out there and like saying like,
To
no,
do well.
I'm going to do well, at least with myself. I'm going to have fun. Like I'm going to have a good time, which I've done that a couple times, and then come off stage. I'm just like, wow, I feel real bad.
Yeah, and even
but that's just hit and miss, you know?
Yeah, even if I'm not prepared, I'm fucking shadowboxing in the back. I want to do good.
I mean, so I feel 2 ways about it. One is like, I am like, sure, totally. Like we all want to do well. Nobody gets up there like looking to fail. The other part of me though is like, if you didn't really put the work in, how hard did you actually want it? And that's
this is
like hard for me when like I live from the disposition in life that people think I have something I didn't earn.
like not from
Does that make sense? So like I already feel like baseline on edge that everyone thinks everything I have in my life isn't deserved.
That shit.
You just gotta get over that shit while I make fun of you about it, Adrian. Like it's just
People
like
make fun of me about stuff too.
yeah. I mean, I think there's something different about being made fun of certain things. Like you can make fun of my hair. You could make fun of like the fact that I dress preppy. You could make fun of certain things about me that are different than
those
like
have also gotten old.
I feel like
That's
the very like core of me where I'm like, no, like I've worked really hard. And like that gets old as like a community where I'm like,
We've
okay.
also never had this conversation.
It's true.
And I feel like you're directing this mostly at me.
It's not just at you. You're just the one in the room.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I can
Is
accept
that
No,
fair?
she makes really intense eye contact.
Like, do I? Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
dude. Like,
Everything you do is
remember
intentional.
that one time?
My friend
yeah,
told me that last
that's
week.
what
not
I mean.
last week.
Intense.
He was like,
It's like-
everything about you is intentional. And I was like trying to think of like a counter example,
even non-comics
And I
that I
couldn't
meet
come up with
in
one. I was
everyday
like,
life, like you do shit intentionally. I have
Some-
the people, dude. Most of your shit has like an end goal to it,
But
and
not like
is
the way I
intentional and
dress, the
deliberate.
way I look. Like, none of
All right,
that.
whatever. It falls into different categories.
Right. You're right.
but like.
Adrian's like, I'm sick of both.
But yeah, straight up, I'm like, you're insecure. It's not. She's not just talking about you. You're insane. I
You're
love
insane.
both of you.
God bless your husband. I'm gonna call him after this.
But like, people who do things with intent are the people that I want to fuck with, not just comics, but in everyday life. Where like, if I don't see that somebody's like every day, like focusing on some fucking goal, I don't want to talk to that person.
They're just dragging you down.
Yeah.
I had a friend,
And they
who-
drag everybody else down. So it makes it a problem when there are certain people in certain areas of like social circles, some people in our scene, social circles that I've seen outside of this, where it's just like, no, they are the people who aren't showing clear intent, and they're dragging everybody else
They're the anchor.
down.
Do you
And
think
it's
that-
fucked up.
Do you think that that's like? Let me ask you 2 questions, and then like there's a follow up. So
Yeah.
3
one,
questions.
3 questions, 2 first. Let me stare at you while I do it for my intense eye contact. 1, do you think that's on us to cut people that are anchoring us out?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you should
2,
evaluate
do you
people
think that's on
consistently.
us to pull people that are anchoring us up and get stronger?
Yes.
You can try,
I mean,
but if they show no effort in growing,
actually,
then you
no.
have to cut
I'm
them
gonna
loose.
I'm
And
gonna
also,
say
you
no
can
on
get
that last
different
one.
answers. You can
Because-
get different answers, like for comedy, sure. For this, no. For
Because
life, this.
it's not about like
I have to pee soon.
it.
You hate
Sorry.
us.
Go on.
God, he hates me.
It's not about pulling yourself up by the anchor, but like the anchor represents stagnation, less than actual
Like less
elevation.
growth
Yes.
for you as an individual and for them.
For
honestly.
yes,
for everyone
for them.
involved. Yeah.
And it's like sad. I can't watch people do that to themselves.
Hmm.
Like that's why I cut people out of my life so quickly, because I'm just like, oh,
Are you
you're
gonna cut me out of your
You're
life?
literally doing just the exact same thing. No, because I see you making plans. You have a new fucking open mic. You're showing back up to comedy. You said fuck it. You're immunocompromised, and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna go. Like, like it's just like, all right, fuck yeah, man. I would like to keep you around, but there are a lot of people constantly that you kind of have to be like,
Well, I think the hard part about unmotivated people for me is that so much of my life has been about worrying that I'm not performing highly enough. Like everything about it, like comedy, my work, my social life, my marriage, like so much of my life has been like, if I don't show up, when like in actuality, even if you go to like the smallest version of that, my marriage, there are 2 of us. Like someone else should be doing the work. You know what I mean? And so like, and then there's comedy where it's like, no, there's a venue, there's a scene, there's a booker. Like there's all these, like there's all these factors. There's like how we educate one another as comics. Like I had no idea that I could just like email someone and like book a show.
yeah,
I had no idea.
you can just reach out to people.
No
Yeah.
clue. I did that last summer, changed my life. I was like, oh my gosh. And like, I know that I don't take comedy as like this full-time gig that like maybe other people in our scene do, and maybe I should try more to do. But like, there is part of me where I'm like, I have had way more fun outside of our tiny little scene than I've had in it. And it makes me sad. And I think that that anchor thing is part of it, where I just want to like, I don't want to be an anchor. That's my like worst nightmare. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I don't show up, it's because I'm like, I don't want to be an anchor. I don't want to walk the crowd. I don't want to be unprepared. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
You know that
Does that make sense?
that is fair.
It shows
That is
respect
fair.
for the game.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to bring my like, like the last couple weeks, like, let's be honest. Like
I've never heard it put that way, but I can imagine that fits for a lot of people.
so like, I think sometimes we talk about comics that don't show up, and I will target you on this one because
Not
you
even
do it
just
to
in
me a lot.
comedy.
But where they're like, where people don't show up and they're like, well, you just gotta like put in the work. You just gotta show up. You just gotta do the thing. And I'm like, but if I literally am looking in the mirror and I'm like, this person is dead weight. Like, I don't want to show up and rub off on people that already get up on a mic and bullshit about their mental health problems.
I've done that a couple times
You know
where
what I mean?
I've been super droopy and like
if
I'll
I'm
just
and like I don't
drag
mean this
it
in like
through the
a
room.
pretentious, I'm better than everyone way, which is apparently how I come across on stage, which like we're gonna work on. But like, if I show up and I'm like, my mental health is shit, I'm having suicidal ideation, laugh.
Yeah, because
like that's
even-
extra shitty.
even
Well, you
going
gotta
like-
work on that joke.
Even-
And like,
Put some fucking effort into it, Taylor.
but even in no.
like,
That's funny.
but that feels shitty, right? Like it's not a good
But
thing.
going
Like-
going back to the anchor analogy, it is there is an ebb and flow, so I guess there's a whole ship up top. You know, it's fucking whatever.
Us, we're the ship.
Yeah, we're the ship. But like there's the ebb and flow of just like, all right, I guess I gotta go and move, and like you pull up the anchor and
And sometimes you need like a unprepared, shitty time on stage to like kick your ass into gear.
Honestly, there have been a couple times where I've gone
And to be fair, like
super
that's
shitty
when
and,
you like last week, you don't remember, but I remember. Like we're like, you need to go up. I'm like looking for people. You need to go up, and I'm like, I haven't thought about doing this successfully in at least 2 weeks. And like I went
You
up
did
and
pretty good.
did I?
You did pretty
I
good.
hate how those sets feel. I would almost rather bomb than like the halvesy
The mediocre.
laugh.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I
The
hate
halvesy
mediocre.
laugh drives me
That's pretty
crazy.
good.
Where I'm like, do you mean it or not? Like, maybe that's just me being demanding.
No.
But
No, you're right.
A strong
I-
bomb is better than a soft.
I always say
Woo!
lots of
'Cause
smiles.
a strong
Lots of
bomb
smiles.
tells me what's wrong, tells me like,
Yeah.
and then if like you get one facial expression, you're like, okay, that line is salvageable. The rest gone. But like everything, oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, that's how I felt about last Tuesday, where I was like,
But you
But-
also got to understand from my perspective, there is a bit of selfishness, which is also the reason I always show up to mics is if we don't have comics, we lose shows. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm
get
always
that.
there just in case there's fucking 3 of us, and I'm going to fucking try to have as much fun with it as possible so we don't lose a goddamn show.
So I see what you're saying.
Because that happens.
And I get nervous about that every single one of my mics that I've had.
Yeah.
And maybe not, but I don't want to like dismiss that. And I also get nervous about the person that shows up and is like
At your mic.
at my mic that's like, I got so obliterated before I came here that I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Isn't that funny? Ha 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 ha. No, it's not funny because I am friends with the owner of this place. I'm friends with the owner of the people serving. I'm friends with the bartender that's not going to make tips if
It
things
might
go
be an
shitty.
open mic, but we are there for a job.
Totally.
Totally.
We're there to do a
But
job.
allowing it to be an open mic
I mean, there's part of it
makes
of
you
like,
susceptible to
but
these
also,
things.
I've shown up to work plenty of times super stoned.
Same.
but, like,
I don't go to work sober.
And
all right?
I always tell them the exact same thing. I'm just like, whoa, dude, I got way too high
so- and-
before I
and to
came.
be
I hate it when
fair-
people do that on stage.
to be yes,
I got
hate that.
too high for
That is
this.
a little rough.
It's fine if it's once,
No.
but when it's every week, it's like, haven't you learned how to smoke weed yet?
Well,
like,
and then there's also the part where it's like, I totally get that you need to leave room for that to be an open mic. I like that new people have the opportunity to get up, and I like that that means that sometimes the crowd has to experience what first time feels like, or what the first bomb feels like.
every
or
once in
like,
a while, it can be beautiful.
I agree. I think that there's a very like profound metaphor
The stars
for
have
life,
to like align.
and
shit.
but
In
those
that.
beautiful moments aren't free.
but
You got to pay 10 shitty first timers before you get a beautiful one,
Well-
like that one dude that won the $20 that week.
and even
At
like
11th
but even
Street?
the beautiful, like it's like the beautiful is paid for by the people that show up and meant it. Does that make sense? So like the comics that were like, I came to this knowing that like, quite frankly, like I don't mean this in like a way, but like I mean I put money into that and like I designed the flyer and then I like put cash into advertising that event, and that's why there's that many
It almost
people
goes
in the room.
right back into the same concept of like people taking advantage of like the food. Like you're not paying into this the way that everybody else is, and the way other people are invested and like are putting their energy truly into this, and you're not paying that equally.
That's why rednecks have a problem with welfare folk.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I just.
Are you redneck, Taylor?
No.
No.
But I understand
Somewhere
the
in there.
frustration. It is. It's unfortunate.
It's not unfortunate. It's beautiful.
It's great. It's beautiful. Bring out your inner redneck.
So it makes you fun.
Um.
Maybe not.
There are
Maybe
lots
it's the
of
Bob
things
side.
to be- but
Don't tag you in this. Heard.
I'm sharing this immediately.
I can't even. It's fine. It was the Jewish elementary school.
I wish I went to a Jewish elementary school. I went to a mean
It was a
elementary
good
school
time.
where I got
It was
beat up
fun.
and stuff.
I went to
It was a good
a
time.
Christian
I
elementary school.
very much like that.
With 2 other people in it.
See? We love the Jews here.
Actually, no, there was one other person there. I was the other one.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you lose your
Two.
virginity to one of them?
No, I got my first
Whoa.
kiss.
Oh, first kiss.
Whoa,
First
those are
something.
different. Those are different.
But I have recollection of some sort of
I lost my
first.
mouth
Oh,
virginity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
all
counts.
in all, I am like very pumped about not only having an open mic, but like our scene in general. Like I think there's a lot of room for a lot of things.
And
And
it's summer. It's
I
ex-
just-
and it's
Summer.
exciting.
And I hope to be like one of the people that can like make room for some of that stuff. So like
You
if there's
are already.
someone that like wants to make like put a lot of effort in, or like wants to kill it, or wants to like do a show, that like I could like step into that if
A
I needed to,
Taylor Lennox production.
I would do it. It would be a So I Can Sleep LLC production.
Oh, is that what you're going to make the LLC?
It is my LLC. What are you talking about?
Oh, did you?
I
Nice.
literally, all my side gigs run through it, and I'm already converting my website to have a podcast and blog link, and I'm going to get started at some point.
It's a little wordy. Just kidding. Sorry. I know you didn't ask for my criticism. Unsolicited. It was a joke. I can't wait to see your set
Freddie,
tonight.
if you're out there.
Yeah, dude, your
Brian
your
really
set's gonna
wants
be
to
great.
hear from you.
Hey, I'm sorry about everything that happened.
What about
Could
name
you,
recognition? You don't think that's good for the podcast? Good for the comedy scene around
I
here?
mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I can understand why you would be excited about that. I also think that you might overrate what name recognition does to you as someone that literally reviews marketing stats for a living.
I believe you. I'm thinking he could boost our views. That's all. We had Andy Matthews on, and that boosted
Dude,
our views.
He's very popular.
He's very popular.
Also, I'm pretty sure that he decided that I wasn't a terrible human being yesterday.
For a bitchy gay, people like him.
He's very kind.
Sometimes.
He has roasted me before, though, where like I thought he expected me to feel bad about it. Like he like told me that I looked like, I don't know, it was like something like I look like a paper boy or something in that like hat I wear, and I'm like, that is the point.
It's a
That's
gangster ass hat.
the point of a Peaky Blinders hat. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah,
I
but the
appreciate
gays
it.
think that's an insult. What are you, a fucking paper boy? Like, I'm talking specifically about Andy, okay?
Anyway, I think that we had a bonding experience last night, and while it was not a good for the person he was with, it was really fun and nice to like be friends with him. So
I love Andy. He's probably coming on next week.
Yeah.
He's our booker. No, you know.
Jadrian.
Yep. I gotta be at 11th Street in 25 minutes.
Oh shit.
Holy shit.
We gotta
All
go.
right.
We gotta go.
We gotta wrap this shit up.
Let's do this.
What do you gotta
guys.
plug?
What
Go.
This is not gonna come out in time.
So?
It's every other
Next
fucking
The
month.
second Thursday of every month, we will be at Esoterra Cider Works Outpost, the Outdoorsy Outpost at 934B Main Avenue, Durango, Colorado, at 8 p.m. Sign-ups are at 7:30.
It's across from the
Christ.
Starlight on
You have
Main
a
Street in
fucking
Durango.
address?
Jesus.
Make sure to go to the open mic at Old Timers on the 19th.
I'll be there. Yeah, we got Mike's Monday at Starlight, Tuesday at 11th Street, Thursday starting on the 19th, every second Thursday at Outdoorsy. And I feel
Tonight, Monday.
like we have more
Monday Night Football.
we have more comics actually doing things right now than we have in the past, maybe ever in Durango. Actually putting on shows, and I think that we're gonna get to see a lot of different people. I don't get to do comedy for crowds like the ones that show up for Outdoorsy. You know what I mean? It's a different people, different kind of people.
I do know different people than you.
I've
that's
done
true.
fucking comedy
The
in
young
a front
Christian
yard
folk.
in Bayfield. or Cortez, actually. Front
God, some
yard
of
in
your
Cortez.
Is this the show
signs
I
are
always
so
hear
cute.
about with the Trump signs?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh.
Trump flag and an NRA flag, just in case you think you might not get shot. Yeah.
Just in case it was unclear.
Thank you so much, Taylor. I
Thanks
really
for
do
having
love
me.
you.
I
No matter
appreciate
how
it.
much of a dick I've been in the past, I do
It's
love
fine.
you.
I mean,
I think you're one of the best comics in the scene, and I think we're much stronger to have you here. And I think you're one of the only people in the scene that is capable of producing your own show and filling that bitch up. So, thank you.
thanks.
All right.
Glad to be here.
I love you guys. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Everything with cream cheese, orange juice, break fast. I'm out the door to get the dough, speaking to the masses. Hit the road to do a show, microphone madness. Trip easy, cheap sunglasses, straight passion. My third eye active, watching backpacks lead the show, beeping that shit vocally. Hearing me locally, lyrically, know what I'm supposed to be, and I don't got no fear of me. I'm coming for your brain, homie, coming at you spiritually. Stepped into the game, and I knew that flow was slippery, but check my flow though. Turn the whack news to history. Let them do their thing, instead I put them out their misery. And simply put, just got disconnected. Like my boy Big Money, man, this can't be neglected. Grab the mic and check it, coming up in your direction. Gift that I've been blessed with, this hustle is respected and reckless. Poetic mind on the set list, got the groove to match. Everybody step with it, still haven't fulfilled a whole vision yet. Life right now still so picturesque. I'm rocking every stage until I get a bigger check. Even though I hate money, ready for a bigger step. Pull the trigger next. Somebody coming at your neck. I could have died today. That's why I'm smoking cigarettes and got precision set of skills. And imagination, creations, innovating with motivation. I'm chasing my goals. Giants that I be racing. I'ma stride through the finish like a 6'5" Jamaican. Beating my chest like, yeah, what my name is. Ink on my chest, what my homie spray painting. Summer day, smoke, skate, PlayStation. He looking down on me and I can't stay patient. I ain't just trying to say shit. Sit back and face this. Real type, I've been smoking instrumental playlist. Chill in the cut. Now these small places, I ain't getting love now, man. Fuck being famous, yeah, they tell me it's really hard to make it. They don't understand I love being underestimated. Second guess it and I'll take it that you're undereducated. Anyway, this got me thinking about them old records playing. Why? It's filled with soul and it fills my mind. Tail feather shaking while the rhythm takes flight. What I'm doing wrong, I ain't gonna fake right. I don't get no sleep because the music takes night. Nocturnal life with my basement lights. Just roll some nice, keep my drink on ice. If you don't get it once and you don't hear it twice, moving on this beat right here is out of sight. I'ma stay away. Stay away.